help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Hey, Tiger fans, as the official AC and heating provider of LSU Athletics, Accutemp wants you to stay comfortable all season long for at-home tailgates. During halftime of LSU home games, Accutemp is offering half off a tune-up of your AC system, a Tiger tune-up for Tiger fans for just $49. The first 100 people to text halftime to 31996 as soon as halftime starts will get it. Be one of the first 100 people to text halftime at halftime to 31996 for a $49 Tiger tune-up from Accutemp. Service to the highest degree.
Feel better faster with virtual visits from Lake Urgent Care. Lake After Hours. See a highly trained clinician from anywhere using your mobile device or computer. To get started, go to lakeurgentcare.com and schedule your virtual visit today.
Many people are injured and can't afford to get the treatment they need because insurance companies won't pay until the case is closed. I'm attorney Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Hey, it's Dorian Oka. Join me and Mel Kiper Jr. for Dorian Mel Saturday mornings at 8 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, Baton Rouge, it's Peter Burns. Join me and Katie George every Sunday morning at 6 for Best Week Ever right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Monday, October 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 87. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Executive Deputy Athletic Director Verge Ausberry joins the show at 7:30 a.m. We have our latest weekend winners at 8. Sports Illustrated Ross Dellinger stopping by at 8:30. Make sure you follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch the show live over at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria online, 104.5ESPN.com. Good Monday morning to you. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas here with you until 10 a.m. this morning. Ross Dellinger will stop by and talk college football with us. No LSU this weekend. Kind of a relief.
A reprieve, if you will. Even though, again, every weekend just reinforces the messages of the first 3 weeks taught you, which is like when you look at what LSU's opponents have gone on to do, just continue to question how bad this LSU team potentially really is.
How much trash did I talk to Alabama fans?
It's okay. It's okay. No,
A lot.
No, that don't matter.
I talked a lot.
That don't matter.
They look really good.
You're well within your rights. The ultimate soft move is not taking advantage of the win and being scared of the future and not talking trash. No.
Thought for sure LSU be better than this.
Did we fly too close to the sun? Yes, absolutely. But it's better to have flown and have the wax melted than to never have flown at all, okay? And if you wanted to have taken advantage of victory lap in that natty, you would have been the ultimate soft boy.
I guess it could be worse. We could be Georgia.
Is that worse?
Mark Richt, Kirby Smart. Did you see the records?
Yeah.
Through the first 60?
Yeah.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Pointing at each other.
I mean, my takes have not been very good at all this season, but I think the Stetson Bennett thing was spot on. Like we said, He's like just a lesser Jake Fromm. How are you going to win the big games? And it's not even sense of bitter, really. It's the offense that Georgia wants to run. But we'll get into it.
All right, here are your headlines on this Monday, October 19th, brought to you by Barbecue Guys.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
LSU and college football news. The Tigers remain outside of the top 25 after the game versus Florida was postponed due to COVID-19 outbreak on the Gators team. Florida came in at number 10 at the new AP top 25. Florida's coach Dan Mullen announced on Saturday he had tested positive for COVID-19, the latest to hit a football program that has been severely affected by the coronavirus spread. The game between LSU and Florida has been scheduled for December 12th. No time on that one. A time was announced on the South Carolina LSU game, originally scheduled for 3 o'clock Central Time here in Baton Rouge for the start this Saturday. It's been pushed back 3 hours to 6 o'clock for the start on ESPN. That per the SEC as they announced a couple of schedule adjustments over the weekend.
Yeah, look, all of a sudden, this is a game. Kind of makes sense that you would put this on ESPN because this is a game that feels so much more competitive than you thought it would have entering the year. Do you have a line on that game?
Tigers minus 6.5.
Okay, that's going to say. I imagine LSU still
feels
favored.
like a lot. It feels like a lot.
South Carolina plus the 6.5.
Whew.
Let's also, yes, but let's also not completely give Will Muschamp like the full benefit of the doubt here. I mean, come on. It's one win, a win that they needed for sure.
You were such a hater on them.
Bro.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I mean, but how are you? I'm just talking about Will Muschamp over time. Not talking about Will Muschamp in one game. No,
that's fair, but I mean,
good.
the year they've had, they've been pretty good so far, T.
Yeah, they've been like all right. They've been better than LSU. I'm not saying that LSU's been terrible, but
6.5 LSU favorite feels like a ton.
We'll see.
College football from last weekend, Clemson easily held off Alabama on Sunday to retain the number one spot in the AP poll, extended its longest run atop the poll to 7 weeks. The Crimson Tide ran away from Georgia on Saturday to make a case for number one, but it wasn't enough. Top of the Tigers as Clemson stayed at the number one spot. Louisiana Lafayette fell out of the rankings after a Coastal Carolina loss last Wednesday night. Auburn and Tennessee both suffered a second loss of the season, which dropped them out of the top 25 as well. LSU, South Carolina coming up this Saturday from Tiger Stadium. It'll be a 6 o'clock start. We'll have all your pregame coverage on Eagle 98.1. The New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas made a cameo appearance in the background of teammate Cameron Jordan's interview with ESPN's First Take on Friday, saying he'll definitely be back this week. Thomas missed the last has missed 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury and then was held out for disciplinary reasons in the Saints' Week 5 win. The Saints have a bye week this week. They'll play the Panthers this Sunday. No announcement on the venue just yet, as the Saints and LSU have been in discussion, and there's been no movement from the New Orleans City officials on allowing fans into the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. So we'll see what happens with the game coming up this Sunday versus Carolina. Here's some scores and output from yesterday.
I wonder what I'm sorry, I should know this off the top of my head. The South Carolina game is here Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
What's the turnaround time on getting the field ready from a night game to then, is it a noon kickoff on
I would
Sunday?
imagine that's not enough.
That's
probably not enough.
Kind of how I feel as well. Maybe it is the logistics that will end up breaking the Saints at Tiger Stadium 2020 dream. Although it would be pretty crazy if you had both Carolina teams on the college and pro level rolling into Tiger Stadium for the weekend.
Classic yesterday in Nashville as the Tennessee Titans beat the Texans 42-36 in overtime. Derrick Henry.
He's very good at football. He's
went
very
94
large.
yards on an NFL field as a running back. That is a big dude coming downhill at you. That 52-yard screen pass he caught in overtime was scary as well.
He's 248 pounds or something around there, and he got clocked at 21 miles an hour on that 94-yard run.
Forget that. Christian Fulton made 3 tackles yesterday for the Titans. Look out, man. The Titans are 5-0.
Yeah, hey, Mincy's been on the Titans hard ever since last year. He called it.
Indianapolis rallied to beat Cincinnati. Feel bad for Burrow on this one, 31-27. Joey and the Bengals jumped out to a big lead in Indianapolis yesterday, but the Colts rallied as Cincinnati only scored 6 in the second half. Burrow finished the day 25 of 39 for 313 yards. Did throw an interception. He was sacked twice. He did rush for a touchdown. The Falcons held on to a lead yesterday, 40-23. Look out, Raheem Morris, new coach. He could be making a bid here for himself to stay long-term. Russell Gage had 4 grabs for 65 yards. Debo had a huge day. Deion Jones had 3 tackles, tackle for loss, 3 passes defense, 1 quarterback hit. He had an interception on the first play of the game that he returned 17 yards. But Justin Jefferson, huge day for Jefferson. 9 catches on 11 targets, 166 yards, and 2 scores for the rookie. As he is making a bid for, forget Rookie of the Year, he's making a bid for All-Pro.
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, I wonder in the award circuit how much the Vikings struggle will affect him. Because, right, I mean, yesterday he was incredible, but, like, the Vikings got their ass kicked. But what it means now, Jordy, is he has 3 100-yard receiving games on the year thus far. The most ever in Vikings history was Randy Moss putting up 4 of those in his rookie year back in '98. He's also just the second player in NFL history to have 500 or more receiving yards to his first 5 career games. So some fantastic trajectory for Justin Jefferson thus far.
The Denver Broncos beat the New England Patriots 18-12. Broncos didn't score a touchdown yesterday. It's the first time New England is sub 500 after 5 games since 2002. Giants.
I mean, something we haven't touched on in a while. Tom versus Bill, who's happier in the breakup. Things have started to go south in New England a little bit, whereas Tampa with the win over, I mean, they appear to be
Tommy's
thriving.
still got a great tan.
Tommy appears to be thriving a little bit right now. Bill, what's up? You calling him? You missing him? A little late night?
First win of the Joe Judge era for New York, and the Giants can probably send the game ball to the head coach for Washington, Ron Rivera, as he went for 2 at the end of the game. It was stopped 2019. The Giants beat Washington. Ravens beat the Eagles 30-28. 2 tackles for Patrick Queen, 2 quarterback hits, 1 pass defense. He did drop a pick 6.
Rivera,
right in the hand.
I don't know that Rivera's actually trying to win this season. Because there was a sequence last week when he could have called a timeout and pushed things because they mathematically still could have done a score, get the ball back, score type of deal. And he's asked about why he didn't after the game, and he said he's still in evaluation mode. Now he's going for 2, so it's you win, great, that's awesome. But if you don't, whatever, you just make your draft pick a little better. Yeah, I think Rivera's doing a little bit of a little next level strategy here, a little more long term with this Washington football team.
Trying to get into the play for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
you see Trevor Lawrence on Saturday night, 391, 5 touchdowns for Clemson.
Yeah, it's gonna be competitive trying to get in there, especially with teams like the Jets that exist out there. But at least get in that top 10.
Steelers beat the Browns 38-7. Odell Beckham had 2 grabs for 25 yards. Jarvis Landry had 3 for 40. The Bears beat the Panthers 23-16. Barkevius Mingo had a tackle, a sack, and a tackle for loss.
Y'all.
Dante Jackson, 2 tackles, a pass defense. Lions beat the Jags 34-16. DJ Chark had 7 grabs on 14 targets yesterday for the former LSU and OTB intern. DJ finished the day with 45 yards.
Minshew needs DJ Chark out there. It's like his security blanket. He absolutely loves him, even though it didn't translate to winning on Sunday. Yeah, that Bears team's interesting, right? Because we've talked about this. In the NFL, you start to win enough, and you start to believe it no matter how ugly those wins have been. And same thing for losing. You've seen very good teams spiral out of control, right? And if Nick Foles can give you that decent quarterback play, yeah, like you said, Jordy, you're good enough in the other areas to make a little noise. So shout out the Bears sending the Panthers to 3-3, breaking their own momentum.
Dolphins blanked the Jets 24-0. No Davin Gotcha on this one. Cool moment for Tua Tagovailoa as he makes his NFL debut. Just throws 2 passes. Nothing of substance for the highlight there, but the moment is what will live on as yesterday some media members in South Beach caught Tagovailoa sitting on the field, FaceTiming his parents in an empty stadium, still in uniform, still soaking in the moment of his first NFL playing time and action yesterday.
Yeah, so a couple thoughts. How does Adam Gase still have a job? Well, no, I know how, because they're smart, and they want the first overall pick. So you keep Adam Gase in power so that you can ensure that you go winless. Even Greg Williams out there taking shots at the Jets offense, which Greg Williams, you're an idiot. The second thing is, look, I know I still think Tua is going to be an incredible player, but is Mac Jones' success at Bama right now taking away a little bit of the Tua luster, a little bit of the Tua legend. Because when you look at what Mac Jones is doing statistically at Alabama right now, he's outperforming even Tua Tagovailoa, who blew people away over the last few years.
Look at the wide receivers he had last year on that team. I mean, look around Mac Jones and the weapons he had on Saturday night last year. I mean, Jerry Jeudy and Ruggs were on the squad along with Devontae Smith.
Yeah. No, it's the classic Alabama thing where it's hard to know individually how these players will do in the NFL, because on the college level, just each and every week, their team is that much more talented than their opponent.
Which LSU's got to get to a place like Bama where Alex Leatherwood, Dylan Moses, Devontae Smith, I mean, those guys are arguably first-round picks, and they're coming back for more action in Tuscaloosa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers rolled the Green Bay Packers 38-10. An enormous day for Devin White. He had 10 tackles, 9 of them solo, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 2 passes defense. The Bucs had nearly as many rushing yards as Brady had passing yards. They rushed it yesterday for 158. Brady had 166 through the air. No Leonard Fournette as he's out banged up with an ankle. Last night, 49ers beat the Los Angeles Rams 24-16. No Quan. Rockers had 1 stop. And tonight, a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Kansas City and Buffalo kick off at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock on Fox. As Dallas and Arizona, the nightcap tonight on ESPN. As that will be the Monday Night Football matchup. The Los Angeles Dodgers came away NL champions for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons after beating T-Bob's Braves in dramatic NLCS fashion last night in Game 7. The Game 7 was the 3rd in a row for the Dodgers, who came back from a 3-1 series deficit to capture the pennant. They'll meet Tampa Bay in the World Series. Tampa Bay clinched the American League pennant with a win over Houston on Saturday night. Houston had stormed back as they were down 3-0 in that series, but Game 7 went the way of Tampa Bay. Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow night. That is a long version of headlines here on this Monday morning of Off the Bench, driven and powered by All-Star Toyota. Verge Ausberry coming up 15 minutes from now. We will react to the weekend next here on OTB.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills. Blaze Grills is headquartered in Baton Rouge. Shop on the web at barbecueguys.com. Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by All-Star. Remember, All-Star Toyota is located on the corner of Goodwood and Airline, where they've been since 2005. Stop in and see the showroom today if you want to shop new cars and new car inventory here on this Monday morning. Stop in and see them on Goodwood and Airline, or you can always shop the inventory online at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Great service department over there, headed up by Mr. Tommy Wagaspack. Remember, if you're a part of the All-Star family, at first 30,000 of oil changes are for free on All-Star. Find out and become an All-Star family member today at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
Yeah, the All-Star family's so nice that I joined it twice. Got that new Camry, leasing it. It's incredible. Exactly what my family was kind of looking for, along with that minivan. And that's the point, right? No matter what your needs may be for a vehicle, whether it's buying new, it's leasing, or it's Toyota certified used vehicle where you get things like a warranty, let All-Star Toyota be your guide in that purchasing process, and I guarantee you'll be satisfied. All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the Dallas Cowboys host the Arizona Cardinals. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Yo, join us for a Monday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda, starting at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge. We'll recap the weekend that was in the SEC and in the NFL. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, stick around. Weekend winners coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. A couple of high school football players going to be in weekend winners. A classic on Friday night here in Baton Rouge as St. Thomas More of Lafayette made the trip over from Acadiana to Memorial Stadium with Catholic High. Catholic High sent their field goal kicker out there, one who won them the state title versus St. Thomas More last season with a game-winning kick. This one sails a little far right on the 53-yarder and gives St. Thomas More a win. We'll give you some of the players there. I don't know if you guys talked about it last Friday morning about Arch Manning on ESPN last Thursday night as he made his ESPN debut as the Newman Greenies top Booker T. Washington. And saw
did those ratings
saw Arch Manning
outperform? Was it the ALCS that night? I thought I saw something crazy where that game actually outdrew the ALCS. Which
maybe
for all the people victory lapping on like the NBA and everything else, like whatever. Whatever. That's up to you. Do whatever you want. But like, football is God. It is football season. All other sports will struggle during football season, except for Braves Dodgers. I actually watched a full baseball game last night, which was a lot of fun. Game 7. It turns out still a very attractive thing, even if you don't have a huge rooting interest.
Yeah, well, and you did, man, and it was a hell of a melt.
Look,
by your
man,
Bravos.
I mean, well, look, you could say melt, but I mean, you lose Soroka to the torn Achilles, 3 young pitchers, some of which are rookies. I mean, nobody expected this lineup to be here. And so I just come away and I'm very proud of this Braves team for what they were able to accomplish.
I don't believe you at all. Daily brought to you by Coy's Diesel.
At all.
Online at coysdiesel.com. Remember, if you drive a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, Coy's Diesel can get you taken care of today. If you're broken down on the side of the road, 24-hour roadside assistance. All of the information is online at coysdiesel.com. As every Monday, we will carry the live press conference of Orgeron right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. And I'd imagine that the first question off of the top to the head coach is going to be the availability of his starting quarterback, Miles Brennan, because the rumor mill is it's on steroids here.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
As far as what's going on with Miles Brennan. Here's what I will say about this is that we started to get this inclination last Tuesday when Orgeron joined us here on Off the Bench, and he gave us a little insight to where Brennan was going to be if they were going to play Florida, because at that point the game had not been postponed as of last Tuesday morning when Orgeron was here on Off the Bench. He said he was questionable due to a hip. At that point, it kind of started to wave some red flags. People started to ask some questions on his Wednesday media chat at the SEC teleconference, and then Wednesday night at his radio show, he started to talk about him being banged up a little bit. He was hurt with a hip. He was been questionable in Gainesville, may not have been able to play if they'd have kicked this thing off as regularly scheduled. So now you wonder what's his status going into this weekend. I'd imagine that he'll have to answer a lot of questions about that coming up at noon today.
I would think so. And you know, Jordy, normally with these stories, I feel like whatever, the message boards are always their own corner of the news cycle where everything needs to be taken with hefty grains of salt, because for every one that they hit, right, maybe they miss like 2 or 3, and sometimes wild rumors can spin out of control. But normally in these settings, like I feel like you especially are normally pretty plugged in and always have an idea of what's probably actually going on. This is one of the most, like even stuff that we're not bringing on air, generally we have a good idea, right? This is one of the times where I really just don't really know what is or what is not the case. I've heard it from all over the place, from all different kinds of people. So I instead of focusing on what we don't know, I'm focusing on what we do know. And what we do know is simply that he would not have played last week. And so my biggest takeaway there is simply that you just applaud what you saw. As bad as that Missouri game was as a team, recognize what you saw out of Miles Brennan in that Mizzou game. Anytime you play through an injury that then holds you out that next week, that means that you were playing in a lot of pain. And think about when he took that hit, what was it, about midway through the second quarter, to finish out that game like he did, to still deliver that 75-yard rope to Terrace Marshall for the touchdown. Regardless of what you thought about Miles Brennan coming in the year after week 1, there is no doubt that is one tough son of a gun to be able to do what he did. But yeah, I have no idea if he'll play this weekend, if it's long-term, short-term, but hopefully we'll learn something at the press conference today.
Yeah, and I think you will, because, I mean, Orgeron's reputation and his history kind of speaks for itself as being, tight-lipped. I mean, he's as forthright and as truth-telling of a coach on the status of his players and injuries as you will find in the sport of football. So I'd imagine that he will have an updated statement on the status of his quarterback coming up here at 10 minutes after noon.
If he can't go, then you're talking about the lone bright spot of the season. And, obviously like Terrace Marshall and Reed Gilbert are awesome as well. But a lot of that starts with Brennan as the quarterback. Yeah, you're talking about the lone bright spot of the season. Suddenly you're going to replace him with either a true freshman or what is TJ Finley now? A redshirt sophomore? He's a true freshman as well? Okay, yeah. So either way, you're going to be replacing with a true freshman.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what the status is of Miles Brennan coming up here in a couple of minutes. Today at 10 minutes after noon when Orgeron regularly has his press conference, and we will hear it here on ESPN Baton Rouge. A lot of people, when we ask for weekend winners, I put out a tweet usually around 8 o'clock on Sunday night asking the public on some weekend winners on who and what you got from the weekend. A lot of you returned and replied that Bo Pelini and the LSU defense were weekend winners because they had the weekend off. And it was right. It plays. Do you think they can get this thing fixed?
Can't give up 8 yards of play if you don't play a game.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. Bo gets it. I don't know. So I guess what kind of spawned this question is Rabs asked this very question in The Advocate, right? And in his article, he references Pelini's start in 2005 against LSU, which makes a lot of sense. Came out against Arizona State. They gave up over 400 passing yards for scores. They then blew the 21-0 lead to Tennessee the next week.
Yeah, that was Les Miles' debut.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he came out with the Britney Spears earpiece against Arizona State. He had the microphone, and then he changed it at halftime
to like a more traditional headset.
Yeah, changed to a more traditional headset. Weird. And then the next week they come out and make their Tiger Stadium debut in front of a raucous 90,000 in what is still to this day the hottest LSU football game I've ever been to.
Really?
On that Monday night. It was the Monday night after
Hotter
Rita.
than that Auburn game a couple years ago when that sun killed half the stadium.
Brutal. That Auburn game was up there. The Florida game with Jarvis and Odell was hot. With Zach Mettenberger, it was a 2:30 kickoff. But still the hottest was that Monday night in Tiger Stadium after Rita, in which LSU dominates Tennessee for a half, up 21-0.
I was watching with some Tennessee
Les
girl.
Miles mismanages the clock going into half. If you go back and watch, he mismanages the clock going into half.
That's called foreshadowing. Kids.
Absolutely. Comes out and cannot stop Tennessee. Rick Clausen and the Tennessee Volunteers come in, and Pelini starts off a brutal showing for Bo Pelini and Les Miles in starting their debut as LSU head coach and defensive coordinator.
So that was the first two games. So then, as Rabs points out, after that, they held 10 of their last 11 opponents under 17 points. They allowed single-digit points 6 times. They finished third in the nation that year in total and scoring defense. So they righted the ship. Unfortunately, if we're taking that and trying to evaluate it and say, will that happen again? I just don't put too much hope in it. Or I don't think of that as being terribly relevant. First off, it was 15 years ago.
You see Ricky Jean around here?
It's a complete
See Glenn Dorsey around here?
It's a completely different era of football as well, where you're talking about, I mean, single digits doesn't happen anymore. You don't hold anybody single digits. An elite defense will hold a team to like 17, maybe like 14, something along those lines. More so than that, I mean, that was also, you had Katrina, which was affecting those first couple of games. There's just too many different factors that I just don't know that, given how terrible LSU's been thus far, I definitely don't expect that drastic of a turnaround. That said, I expect improvement because you almost literally cannot be worse. So it's like you have to be better. And when you're talking about the South Carolina offensive attack for this weekend, it doesn't strike me as a very, here on the onset of the week, right? It doesn't strike me as a very complicated attack. It's pro style. They want to run the ball. That's how they had so much success last week. LSU's been terrible at stopping the run, but like at least you can, I don't know. I'll just say at least you can focus on stopping it and making Connor Hill beat you, but you let Bazelak complete 85% of passes for 400. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's not going to get fixed.
KJ Costello continues to get worse since he left Baton Rouge.
Mississippi State has scored.
Falling off of a cliff.
Hold on. I got a good. Since we're already here, I got a good one. Since hanging 44 on LSU, Mississippi State has thrown 10 picks and scored just 20. What is it? No, I lost it. They've thrown 10 picks, and they've scored less points. They've scored like 26 points in those 3 games or something.
Talk to Verge Ausberry next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here by Donaldsonville Glass and Body. DGBauto.com. Remember, over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body, they can help you with collision repair today. If you want to get online at DGBauto.com, they can also help you with tire rotation, oil changes, collision repair. If you need windshield repair, all online at DGBauto.com.
DGBauto.com, DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com. Go check them out. You can also find them on Facebook. Just search for Donaldsonville Glass and Body. If you're trying to extend the life of your vehicle, they can do that for you. You don't have to be paying another car note. You already paid it off. Well, they got you, man. They're going to keep this thing on the road as long as possible. And also, though, remember, if you get into an accident, you want to go to DG&B. The cops cannot tell you who you need to tow you. The insurance company cannot tell you where to go. The answers to both are DG&B. They will pick your vehicle up in that tow truck, fix it, and then drop it right back off to you. Convenience of the highest order and the quality of work. The body shop is the best in the state, hands down. Put that on anything. Donaldson Glass Body, one-stop car shop, DGBauto.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. It's game week. We'll hear from Ed Orgeron as the Tigers start getting ready for South Carolina and the Saints start getting ready for Carolina. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench. Sends off the bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Remember, Capital Partners brings us our conversation every Monday morning with Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU, Verge Ausberry. Remember, you can find Capital Partners Firm online at capitalpartnersfirm.com. If you need government representation, individual or business, get in touch with Jesse McCormick or Daryl Cahoon this morning over at Capital Partners.
Lobbying for the people.
Verge, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How y'all doing, fellas?
Doing okay, man. On a weekend where LSU does not play football, somebody in your position as a executive team member with LSU Athletics, how do you take the weekends in?
You know, watch a lot of football, watch a lot of, TV, spend time with the kids and family and watch their games on a Friday night and just get back focused. And saw a lot of football this weekend. And as you all know, a lot of surprises. South Carolina beating Auburn, and you had this weekend you had Kentucky. No one saw that coming, beat Tennessee. That's what I tell a lot of people and a lot of young guys, especially on our team. When you're playing SEC football, forget about the records, forget about the scores of the previous games. It's going to be a tough game.
Young Ausberry out on Friday night making plays for University High. I see him out there for the Cubs.
Yeah, he did.
Go ahead.
No, he said he did well.
Yeah, he did. He played well. So tell me about the conversations you're having going into another game week. Do you anticipate maybe the crowd being able to balloon a little bit. What do you anticipate in another game weekend in Baton Rouge?
Yes, we're very excited. This is a night kickoff, a 6 p.m. kickoff in Tiger Stadium. We only have 3 more options to see the Tigers in our stadium, and that's good. We want the fans to be there. We want the crowd to be there. We want the stadium to have some energy. That's what we're looking for this week. We're able to sell alcohol. They gave us permission to sell alcohol starting now, so to sell alcohol for this game. There's be no longer the security checks and for people coming to the stadium with the COVID checks. You won't be at the gate. But if you're sick or you don't feel well, please stay at home to help us. And so those are the things that we're trying to do. Just try to get the stadium back up and running. We had an off week. The players, Coach O gave them a lot of rest this weekend. They worked hard during the week, gave them Saturday, Sunday off, Friday evening off, and we're ready to go for this week.
Talking to Verge Ausberry, LSU Assistant Athletic Director here on Off the Bench. Verge, so the kickoff this Saturday in South Carolina gets moved from 3 to 6. There's a lot of talk of the Saints maybe playing in Tiger Stadium. Is that feasible given that turnaround time as the Saints-Panthers scheduled to kick off Sunday at noon and LSU would play at 6 p.m. the night before?
Well, it's not going to be this week. It'll be later in the year. But, we might have some situations like that. We've been working with them to see how we could do that. And I think we have a good chance of doing it if they want to do it. This is all about the Saints. If they want to come here and play a game, we're going to be able to host them here at Tiger Stadium. There's a lot of other people calling from New Orleans also, to play games, state high school games and things of that nature. We're hearing from people, how we host all these people that want to come to our stadium and especially play on our field and the wear and tear on our field. That is a year, but it still be a lot of wear and tear. So we're here just to help people out. We have great relationships with the High School Association, with the Saints and other people in New Orleans, and we're here to help them if needed.
Verge, a lot of talk about creating energy from Orgeron for home games for his team and both for the environment. As an executive member of the athletics crew, is there any way that the in-stadium crew can help on that?
Yeah, we just want people to come to the game. The first game, Mississippi State, they had about really 15,000 people in the stadium. And, change of game is hard. A 2:30 game, it changes everything. Almost like a big scrimmage in there, and it's just hard to get excited. And you talk to people in other stadiums also, you're feeling the same thing. You don't have the 80 to 90,000 people in your stadium. It's just a big difference. And the energy, keeping the energy up. And football, any sport is an emotional game. You're playing on your emotions, especially a young team. The emotions, a big play, something like that happens, then you know what, it gets the team fired up. 1 or 2 plays, change your whole game. And you don't have that excitement in the stadium. You got to kind of create the excitement. Coach O tries to create the excitement in practice. But those are the things, to walk down the hill, hopefully, get have people out there, cheering the team on, practicing social distancing. And it's hard with social distancing and those other things. It was very difficult to do what we did before.
Verge, how is the defensive reconstruction going after the first couple of weeks here?
What they're doing, I got a chance to visit with both for a little while. I watched practice and making it, simplifying it. This is it. We're going to run this defense and we're going to run this defense well. And one thing Coach O had them doing over and over and over again, run the same defense over and over and over and over and drill it in. Hey, this is your man. Do not leave your man. Man coverage, I don't care where he goes, this is your man. And doing it over and over. But that's the thing we're doing. You're blowing assignments. And, just simplify it. Go to what we do best. Use the talent you have in the places you have it. But just simplify it where, these guys could pick it up and you could go from there. Football goes back to simple things, tackling, running, blocking, and catching. And those are things you see no matter you're playing in high school, college, on Sunday nights. But you have to execute. You have to keep it simple where the guys learn and know where they're going on the field.
Verge, I know you can't talk about the status of players, and I know that Orgeron will be asked about what's going on with Miles Brennan just because of what's being said out there on him and him just kind of the last week versus Missouri. But can you tell us from your point of view what your feelings are on TJ Finley and Max Johnson, just if and when they get an opportunity to get into the game?
Two good-looking young men, that's does well in practice. Both of them have big arms. One is a little more athletic than the other. One has a good throwing arm. Finley has a great throwing arm. 2 big guys, about 6'5", both of them. But both of them are true freshmen too. and you definitely have to simplify, cut some things back if they get the game. I think they could do it, though. They do very well in practice. And the same thing, though, you're talking about a young guy, hadn't seen this type of speed, hadn't played in the SEC yet. But, if Brennan can't go, you have to go with one of those. And I think you have two good options there. I think we are very good at the quarterback position in the future.
What would be your lasting message to the fans this week as you talk to them here on Monday morning to keep up with the communication here on another game week?
Just go online and watch what we're doing, the messages that we're putting out there, and everything should be good this weekend, a 6 p.m. game at Tiger Stadium. Cheers on. This is a restart button. We had, I think, last week being off was a good thing for us this weekend. And starting this weekend, I think it is great to be back in our stadium. I think our players had a chance to heal mentally also, which is a big part of it. And I think we'll have a great game against a good South Carolina team. They have a lot of momentum coming in. They want a big game. And this is a big game for them, too. So this is a huge game. Every week, these SEC games get bigger and bigger.
Verge, we'll talk to you Saturday on the pregame. Thank you, as always, for your time on this Monday morning.
Thank both of you guys. Have a good week.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Verge.
LSU Executive Deputy Director of Athletics, Verge Ausberry, as that conversation is brought to you by Capital Partners here on Off the Bench. Remember, every Monday morning, if our conversation with Verge Ausberry is brought to you by Capital Partners, online, capitalpartnersfirm.com. If you're an individual or a business and you need government representation up at the Capitol, let Jesse McCormick and Daryl Cahoon be the face and voice for you. capitalpartnersfirm.com. We'll be back and close that hour number 1.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Central Plumbing Company, online, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. If you are needing residential or commercial plumbing services, Central Plumbing Company can help you out online, centralplumbing.org. Great showroom over there on Greenville Springs Road. They can help you out as well with full-service generators, full-home generators. If you need one today, you don't want to lose power, get in touch with Central Plumbing Company, online, centralplumbing.org.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can plumb it yourself. Go into Central Plumbing, like George said, at Greenville Springs. Look at the selection. They have every kind of part, bit, and bobble that you could need to fix whatever your issue is. But if you're like me, you're not very handy, or plumbing is just a step too far, and just call them, man, 925-8552, and you don't lift a finger. Everybody's licensed, bond, insured, flat rate pricing, so you know what to expect. Great warranty after the work is done. Peace of mind before, during, and after. Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies, let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Mathern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more.
Yo, join us for a Monday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda, starting at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge. We'll recap the weekend that was in the SEC and in the NFL. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Failure happens to us all.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, coming up, weekend winners here on Off the Bench, starting you off in hour 2. Remember, Off the Bench daily brought to you by All-Star Toyota, and all of the sound that you hear here on OTB is brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Stop in and see Carriages. Game day weekend is Verge. You heard there in our last segment, said there's only 3 more of these left. 3 more home opportunities for this LSU team here in 2020. So make sure that you have your apparel picked out. If you need one of the game day logos, those alternative game day logos that LSU puts out, Carriages has a great selection over on Jefferson and Old Hammond, where they've been since 1982. So check them out at carriagesbr.com. College football weekend was fantastic as far as the slate of games went. This weekend, you get a chance to dial in and catch any as far as, did you watch Georgia, Alabama?
I talked about who was going to kind of, Friday we did a whole long drawn-out dating analogy about how, when you approach these weekends and you don't really care who you're cheering for, right? You kind of see, like, which girl at the bar catches your eye. And, yeah, look, Georgia, Alabama, I guess that was fun on Saturday night watching the hot chicks, but there's one girl that I just can't get away from, and she's a little thick. She's got incredible energy, and that is Sam Pittman. I love what's going on at Arkansas right now.
A little thick?
Hard. Yeah, hey. Look, I'm a big guy.
I mean, we like him thick here on OTB, but my man
I'm a big guy.
He's super thick.
He's a little portly. But, I mean, do you want a skinny O-line coach?
No, I don't.
Can you trust a skinny O-line coach?
I love Sam Pittman, and I love Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're hard not to like right now. Dude, they should be 3-1.
They should be.
They should be 3-1. They got cheated. Look at my man wearing the white polo, too, to look extra wide.
No undershirt.
Which is such a bold move on so many different levels. Terrible idea, Sam.
I mean, the power play.
The white Nike golf shirt is unforgiving.
So I really enjoyed. I think like Arkansas, Auburn, South Carolina was good. Look, South Carolina played well. I just still think that Muschamp is not very good.
Dude, how bad?
He's not.
How bad is Bo Nix?
He's not.
No. Yeah, Bo Nix is really
how
bad.
bad is Bo Nix?
He feels like he should be playing for LSU under Les Miles.
It's time to move on if you're Auburn.
He's only a sophomore.
I don't care.
Do they have anybody to move on?
Try anything.
How many Hugh Freeze tweets did you see at Auburn this weekend? Added at Auburn.
Hugh Freeze.
5-0 Liberty.
We'll hear about him in weekend winners. Power 5 win for Liberty. Not even Jerry Falwell's unrestrained horniness can hold Liberty back from an undefeated record. Nice job by Hugh Freeze. But yeah, it's I don't know. Look, Georgia, Alabama. My takes, as I said, have been Bo Pelini level at times this year. But one of the takes that we did nail was simply that you didn't understand necessarily the logic of Kirby and this Georgia offense, right? I mean, running the same offense with a quarterback that is Jake Fromm, but actually not as good. And we said, yeah, look, you are good enough where you're going to beat all the teams that are lesser than you. But when you're in the biggest games against the best teams, ultimately this guy will not be able to get you over the hump. And sure enough, That's what played out. And to be fair, I don't really blame Stetson Bennett as much as I just think it's the overall core philosophy of Kirby Smart's offense. He's stuck in the same sort of rut that Les Miles was, where he knows that he can win the vast majority of games with a pro-style offense and great defense, but until he's willing to open things up and really get creative on the offensive side of the ball and get more risky, they're going to continually kind of put an artificial ceiling on themselves. I mean, look what Mac Jones and that Alabama offense did this weekend against what we thought was the best defense in the country.
Yeah, Mac Jones becomes the first Alabama starter to start his first 3 games and throwing for over 300 yards. He threw for 417 against Georgia's defense on Saturday night, including 4 touchdowns. 2 of them went to Amite native Devontae Smith, who caught 11 passes for $167 and 2 scores. Alabama scored the last 24 points of this game, the 3 before half and then the 21 in the second half. They dominated Georgia's defense in the last second half of play. When you look at Alabama legitimately in week 3, I guess, of
no,
this
week
season.
4 now, right? Yeah, that was week 4.
They look like they could hang 70 and 1,000 yards on LSU if they played that game tonight. Alabama looks a ton like LSU offensively last year. If that was the best defense in college football, which it has the reputation, Georgia has the reputation of the best defense in college football, and many experts will say that it's not even close.
Yeah, right.
Especially from
who
a
is
talent
the other
standpoint.
defense?
I mean, and Alabama did
Maybe a Big
whatever
10
they
team?
wanted. I mean, they did whatever they wanted against Georgia in the second half. Their selection of wide receivers, Mac Jones, Najee Harris, and it looks like
Chi-Chi or whatever. What's his name?
It looks like Clemson.
Michi?
Yeah, Michi.
Yeah,
Michi.
Is he the one from Canada? I mean, they've got one from Canada. That's a beast too.
Either way, Sark is looking at Pelini right now like he's like a delicious fat bone-in ribeye.
I wonder how he's
sizzling.
I wonder how he's. I mean, he shouldn't be looking at LSU like that because they're going to have their way against LSU. I wonder how he's looking at Brett Venables because Clemson and Alabama look as if
collision course.
But I wonder what Ohio State looks like. I mean, you will see Ohio State. The Big Ten opens up this weekend.
That's fair.
And you'll see Nebraska and Ohio State. When you look at just the rosters, side by side of the top 10 teams in college football, Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson stands out.
Well, and that's where I think people that's where Kirby Smart's recruiting success actually ends up almost negatively affecting him, right, is because his roster does stand up to those other ones, but he just can't find quite the consistency or the results that the others can. And, yeah, Nick Saban moves to 22-0 against his former assistants and a big 1-0 against COVID as he eliminated it in like 2 days.
I mean, that's an amazing story.
That had to be a false positive, right?
It had to be. Yeah, it had to be.
Or he just got with the he just got with the Surgeon General of Alabama and said, "Look, this is how this is going to go, man. I need 3 negative tests before we play on Saturday because I ain't missing that game."
Yeah.
Weekend winners, hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember, online at secureshreddingandrecycling.com. 10 trucks on the road today. Mobile shredding for you if you need it. Get online at secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Your document destruction specialist right now at Secure Shredding and Recycling. They are your premier provider of document destruction services. Doesn't matter if you're an individual, a business, a nonprofit organization, or a government agency. They got you taken care of. SecureShreddingandRecycling.com.
SecureShreddingRecycling.com. SecureShreddingandrecycling.com. Like Jordy said, 10 trucks out there on the road. So they can do really, they're there to serve your needs. You want them to destroy on-site, they can bring out a truck and do so. They have drop-off points. You just drop it off, they take care of it. For the biggest jobs, they'll take them back to their facilities, which are incredible. The equipment takes care of everything. Look, it's good for the environment. It's good for your business. Deal with the local guys. They're going to give you better rates and better customer service than the national companies will. SecureShreddingandRecycling.com. Act now. SecureShreddingandRecycling.com.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Monday, October 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 87. In case you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up here in hour two, we give you our weekend winners next. Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger is talking college football at 8:30. Remember, you can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Get inside the Bayou Ford chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted daily. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 2 off and added off the bench. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online, 1045ESPN.com. Driven and powered every day by All-Star Toyota. Remember, find all the selection online, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Ross Dellinger coming up here in 30 minutes. We talked to Verge Ausberry, Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU 30 minutes ago. We'll have your weekend winners here coming up on OTB. Any sound you may be looking for here on Off the Bench? It's always brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge, carriagesbr.com. Great social media for Carriages. Hit them on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with the selection. Great logos, LSU game day logos to choose from. Sport coats, winter wear, carriagesbr.com. Weekend winners coming up here in a couple of minutes. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Abear, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas. No sound from hour one. No LSU, no New Orleans Saints. Doubleheader of Monday Night Football coming up this afternoon. Kansas City and Buffalo, 4 o'clock start. Is that in Orchard Park? Is that in Buffalo, NKC? I don't know. We'll track that.
What were you
down.
talking about?
Monday night afternoon game. Monday afternoon game. And then
But
Monday
it's
night tonight.
at somewhere called Orchard Park.
That's Buffalo.
Okay.
Arizona and Dallas, a Dackless Cowboys. Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. This is when the playoff run starts here, huh, Danny?
Big moment for Danny here. I mean, all of
I can't
Danny's...
let Danny sail on this ship by himself. It was he and I in the
That's true.
offseason that were talking about the Red Rifle possibly being better. Dak Prescott got off to the fastest 4-game start in NFL history as far as passing yards go. A brutal injury last week to Dak here in a contract year in which he is franchise tagged. Last week with the compound fracture ankle puts Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, into the trigger man spot, no pun intended, for the Dallas Cowboys, as he will make his first start for America's team tonight. T.
We gonna learn today, Danny? How you feeling about that? How you feeling, huh?
You should be cheering for Andy Dalton so the Saints can get Dak Prescott, because if Andy Dalton leads
Danny, this is the type of spin zone I love right here. You're right. If Andy Dalton wins more games, Cowboys end up bailing on Dak. Hell yeah, dude.
You gonna pay him $36 million a year?
Come on down. Come on down to New Orleans. Look, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But certainly it looks like the Saints are going to be in need of a quarterback sooner rather than later.
Weekend winners. Here is the latest edition.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
I'll start mine off Friday night, Memorial Stadium. Told you about a couple of high school players here in the Baton Rouge area that were shining. The Catholic High St. Thomas More game seemed like an instant classic. 39-38, the Cougars beat the Bears at the gun. But Walker Howard, who is the LSU quarterback commitment, he's the junior signal caller for the Cougars, had an incredible night. 390 yards, 5 touchdowns for Howard. The future seems to be bright at that position, and Walker Howard seems to be one of the most shining spots. But Jack Besh, who we've talked a little bit about here, and I know we've talked about him on game day. Besh had 9 catches for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a catch on the 5th play of the game that went for over 60 and a score. I've seen a couple of wide receivers around the state of Louisiana, including the Newman wideout, pick up a LSU offer on Friday. I'd imagine that Jack Besh has got to be close, man. I mean, it seems like every time you turn on the film that Besh is the best player on the field. He is a Vanderbilt commit. He made plays on Friday night. Jack Besh and Walker Howard, my first 2 weekend winners.
All right, my first weekend winner. I said that I fell in love. Thank you. I said that I fell in love with Arkansas this weekend, right? Well, who epitomizes the blue-collar attractability more than Grant Morgan, the linebacker playing with the robotic arm, a lot of tattoos, kind of a senior guy you don't expect to translate maybe into too much in the league, but how about this? On Saturday, Arkansas senior safety, I said linebacker, excuse me. Arkansas senior safety Grant Morgan had 19 tackles.
Wow.
3 TFLs.
Wow.
And a pick 6.
Damn.
What a beast. You want to talk about putting the team on your back? Getting your first SEC home win since 2016. Grant Morgan's been through it all. He's been through the come-up. He's been through the Sam Pittman-Barry Odom revolution. He goes for 19 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a pick 6. Grant Morgan, senior safety, take a bow.
Weekend winner here goes out to Will Spires. If you don't know who that is, nobody blames you. He's the punter for Clemson. He got to play quarterback on Saturday because Clemson was destroying Georgia Tech. It gets better. Will Spires ended up going 2 of 3 for 13 yards. His 13 yards passing, more than Georgia Tech's entire team in the second half.
Wow.
Good job, Will.
Wow.
Living the dream.
Wait, so he's
I thought
just
they were
like,
changing the direction of the offense.
So how
Jeff
deep?
Collins.
How deep in the? Like, did they play the backup quarterback first and then put in Spires?
And then they put in another backup quarterback
And then
after
put in
Will
Spires.
Spires. No. T-Law, backup, Spires, another backup
So
quarterback.
he's a third-string quarterback.
Apparently,
I've never heard of that.
And the punter.
Punter/third stringer.
Got a
Hell yeah.
QBR of 72.
All
Shout
right.
out, Will
fake,
Spires.
Fake punt machine.
Hey.
Remember the old quarterback Tom Tupa?
No,
He was a punter as well.
It's a great name.
In the league. Danny, weekend winner.
My weekend winner goes out to New Zealand All Blacks. They had the Bledsoe Club versus Australia, and sold out stadium, 46,000 fans.
Yeah.
No restrictions, no nothing. New Zealand's been handling COVID like perfect, and they've been enjoying life, and everybody else is just like sucking up.
Yeah. Now, look, New Zealand has some built-in advantages. There are more sheep than people there, so certainly I think it's a bit easier to control. But, yeah, while the rest of the world is, like, shut down, they are just fully living everything to the fullest. And go All Blacks. I'm a big fan as well, Danny. I love when you wear the All Blacks jersey into the studio.
I got the Titans and Derrick Henry as weekend winners. They're both 5-0. Derrick Henry is, and the Titans are 5-0. Henry had 24 touches yesterday for 264 yards, and it is rare to see one man go 90-plus yards on an NFL football field.
Yes.
That's why when you see Odell Beckham Jr., when you see one of these running backs, these wide receivers, we've seen Beckham catch a slant and take it to the house at least 90, 95 yards. That's really hard to do on an NFL football field. And Henry yesterday chugging for 95 yards with a stiff arm and then drops it, what seems like another gear at the 45-yard line at his own 45 and just runs away. That's Justin Reed from Dutchtown that he's running away from, Eric Reed's younger brother, the safety for the Texans. I mean, he is a premier athlete that went to Stanford. Henry just drops it another gear at 6'4", 250 and runs away from everybody on an NFL football field. That's one of those highlights that you look at and you just, and it kind of makes you make an ugly face, just like, damn.
Yeah, when you're that big, like he's not going to be the quickest back, right? But like a world-class sprinter, you can tell when he gets up to speed, he is as fast as any of those smaller guys. And then so when you're 248 pounds, you can run 21 miles an hour. You're a physical freak of nature. But how about this? So since you said Titans, I'll add on. How about what Mike Vrabel did? I've never seen this before. Apparently, he has done this once before back in 2018 as well. Everybody remembers his next-level clock management in the playoffs last year. But, okay, let me try to lay out this scenario over the radio. So listen close because it's going to be a bit tough. So there's 3 minutes left in the game. The Texans have the ball and are up 1. They are on the Titans' 25-yard line. They have 2nd and 1, okay? And so knowing that the Texans are going to convert 2nd and 1, right? And they'll probably do it either running the ball at 2nd down and 3rd down. So they could be maybe 1 plays, 2 plays, but they're going to convert it and they're going to waste time. Instead, what does Vrabel do? He runs a 12th man onto the field. He purposely takes the penalty, therefore starting a new set of downs, but without the 40 seconds that would have come off the clock if the Texans had been able to start it themselves. So he saves 40 seconds in that sequence. Of course, Texans going to score, miss a 2-point conversion. What do the Titans do? They tied up with 4 seconds left. So if it was not for Vrabel purposely taking that 12-minute on the field penalty to conserve time, get the new set of downs, so they had a better chance of using the timeouts to save clock, there would have never been time left for the Titans to tie the game. So not only are they very talented, but they are obviously one of the best coached teams in the entire NFL. And between that and the playoffs, those are 2 things that I have never seen before that you can both directly attribute to Mike Vrabel. So, yeah, Tennessee, a true AFC contender. Shout out Vrabel.
The one in the playoffs is versus Belichick.
Yeah, wasted a minute, 40 seconds.
He had Belichick wanting to come across the field at him.
He wasted a minute, 40 seconds in that game without ever taking an offensive snap by taking multiple offensive penalties.
Musso?
Yeah, Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
Go-ahead home run last night in the 7th inning. It was the 2nd go-ahead homer in a Game 7 for Cody Bellinger in his young career. Had the
Bellinger
go-ahead homer against the Brewers in 2018.
He 6th in that Dodgers lineup with that swing and that production. I mean, it is an embarrassment of bridge. 3 out of the last 4 years they've made it here. It's time to win it now.
Time to win it.
Right? All right, Danny?
My other weekend winner goes to Atlanta sports fans who dropped another 3-1 lead.
I mean, I think the real winner there would be petty New Orleans fans, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing they love more than Atlanta failing, and now you get to do the Spider-Man meme where it's 28-3 on one scoreboard, 3-1 on the other scoreboard. I mean, so I obviously have a lot of Atlanta friends and follow a lot of Atlanta people. The mental, it's almost sad at this point. Like, even kicking them just feels like kicking someone who's, like, really down on their luck and they've lost everything and they're sleeping in a gutter. It's almost not even fun. Now, but you know, nobody knows petty like New Orleans, so they'll still do it. But, yeah, it's just they're mentally broken right now, Atlanta sports fans are.
15 straight postseason appearances for the Braves without a World Series berth, the longest in Major League Baseball history. My final weekend winner is me and Kelly hit up Zorba's on Friday night, and that is a forgotten restaurant in Baton Rouge.
I mean, Ducked Out Friday, a little 3-day weekend.
Killing it, boys.
Something's going on. So how was Zorba's?
It was good. Zorba's is great, and Zorba's is usually a forgotten gem of Baton Rouge. If you're looking for quality service and just the best food, best to choose from, Greek, it is a fantastic spot. Miss Paulina and Mr. Dino. Look, Miss Paulina in the back cooking in the kitchen. Love to see it. Family owned and operated. Zorba's, shout out.
They should
Weekend
call it
winner.
Zubas, and all of the waiters and waitresses have to wear Zuba pants. That would be awesome. Okay, I got a bunch of weekend winners. Are y'all done? Do you want me to roll through all these?
Yeah, what you got?
Okay, Hugh Freeze.
For sure.
Forgive me, Lord, I have sinned, but not by losing a game. Liberty handles Syracuse first ever Power 5 victory. They are now 5-0.
Auburn, make it happen. Bring him back to the SEC.
How about Tampa Bay Pandemic Sports?
Yeah.
Tampa wins the Stanley Cup. The Rays are in the World Series.
Sleeping Dick Vitale.
Tom Brady is the Bucs quarterback and just dominated the previously unbeaten Packers to move to 4-2 and take the NFC South lead.
Dickie V. His
Think
celebrations.
Think about this. Any Tampa fan who's also a Heat fan also had their basketball team in the finals. I mean, what a time. The pandemic's been nice to Tampa sports
Dickie
fans.
V claimed the Heat too?
I don't think so. Not like the Rays. Boy loves the Rays.
Sheesh.
Hocus Pocus fans, the original Three Witches are going to unite for a live stream on October 30th for charity, so that could be kind of interesting. Saints fans who still hate Kirk Cousins. Cousins threw 3 first-half picks en route to getting dominated, by the Falcons. He has now thrown 10 picks in 6 games after throwing 6 all of last year, and this comes on the heels of a 2-year, $66 million extension that he got in the offseason on top of that 3-year, $87 million fully guaranteed.
Kirk Cousins.
It is going to be fascinating. It is going to be a fascinating case study in the quarterback market to look at how much money Kirk Cousins has made by the time it's all said and done. And then finally, something you mentioned earlier, Justin Jefferson, second player in NFL history with 500 more receiving yards in his first 5 career games.
I mean, it is, at this point, I would say that Vegas has it as the odds as Justin Jefferson and Patrick Queen as the offensive and defensive player of the year, right?
Yeah, we played that game on Friday a little bit. And PQ, no. I mean, this is perfect.
Toes in the sand?
No, this is perfect because PQ, we felt like was obvious, but at that point, CeeDee Lamb still had better numbers than Jefferson, but Jefferson was creeping, trending in the right direction. Well, Jefferson looks like he took the lead. Yeah. And we'll see what Lamb does tonight with Andy Dalton throwing him the ball there.
Queen had a pick 6 dropped in his hands on Sunday.
Back-to-back. That would have been, I mean, you scored 2 defensive touchdowns as a rookie. You've almost
Show
sealed
off
it
the
up.
wheels. All right, we got Dellinger 15 minutes from now. We will talk more of the weekend and set up a couple of these Monday night matchups this afternoon when we come back here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All-Star Toyota brings you OTB Daily here. Remember, All-Star Toyota's got a great selection of brand new cars and used cars and pre-owned and certified cars to choose from. Over 90 to choose from of pre-owned and certified, and a fantastic selection of brand new cars over on Goodwood and Airline at All-Star Toyota. Tundras, Tacomas, 4Runners, Highlanders, Corollas, Camrys, Avalons. They got great selections for you. If you're looking for a hybrid model, they can get you into one today. T-Bob is 6'4", 300 pounds, and he just got into a brand new Camry. Loves it.
Bro, have you seen it?
Online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. I saw you pulling up this morning. You look great.
It's clean. I mean, it's clean. I think it looks awesome, dude. All black interior, just like I love so much. But that's the point, is that All-Star has been there for me, and we've gone multiple different routes, multiple different cars, and they guided me. Okay, Richard Jones guided me through the entire process, got me exactly what I needed. Check out the great October deals on allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Annie. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey, football fans, T-Bomb here, reminding you that Hooters is your headquarters for football. If you can't get in, they still got the Hooters girls, the TVs, the wings, the beer, everything you love about game day. But what if you're watching at your house, maybe having some people over, you don't feel like cooking? Well, great, Hooters, they have your back. You download the Hooters app, you'll get a free app, and then you go and you pick up the food, you bring it home. Everybody loves you because you got Hooters wings, and game day, it's a match made in heaven. Download the app, get Hooters to go. Hooters, your headquarters for football.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front-to-Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA-certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front-to-Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. It's game week. We'll hear from Ed Orgeron as the Tigers start getting ready for South Carolina and the Saints start getting ready for Carolina. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, coming up, we'll talk to Ross Dellinger here in a couple of minutes. Your weekend winners last segment. One winner that we left out was got to saw Tua Tagovailoa make his NFL debut after a devastating injury.
I don't know, though. Can Tua be a winner on a weekend when Mac Jones is kind of taking away a lot from the Tua Tagovailoa luster a bit, or from the legend a bit, if you will? Also, we did leave out a winner, though. Girl Whitney Bro, the 18th just came by. Day 18, put in your calendar. Yesterday was the day to do your self-breast examination. Make sure you're good to go. Remember, every single month on the 18th, follow the Day 18 campaign on Twitter and Instagram at Day 18 campaign.
Remember, over at Go Roof, you can get free professional estimates on your roof, whether it is a commercial roof, whether it's a residential roof, or you just need a repair. Call the boys today at 927-8300, residential commercial roofing repair. Call for a professional estimate, 927-8300, or online at geauxroof.com.
That's right, geauxroof.com. 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the warranty, free professional estimate, so it doesn't cost anything to have them come and look at your home, see exactly where you stand, why would you use yours anywhere else. Jordy, what do you get when you work at Go Roof?
A beautiful roof every single time.
Rusa.
All right, coming up here on Off the Bench, we will talk college football with Ross Dellinger, but the NFL weekend has come and gone here. And NFC South, we saw the Atlanta Falcons get a win in Minnesota. We saw Carolina fall to the Chicago Bears, as the Bears
don't look down. Don't look down.
I don't want to point and laugh, but you want to point and laugh at a 4-1 team.
Got a little belief. Got a little belief in him too. I mean, the Packers lose as well, so the Chicago Bears are now alone atop the NFC North.
Yeah, T mentioned the Packers losing, and they got bludgeoned by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-10 as yesterday Brady and the boys went into Lambeau and beat up on Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, that Tampa Bay front seven gave Aaron Rodgers hell.
It's not even about Brady and the offense. I mean, if anything, the story about the offensive side of the ball for Tampa Bay was how balanced they were. I mean, I think we mentioned it inside of headlines when we were going down some of the scores and the output from LSU guys. But they nearly ran it for as much as Brady threw it yesterday. In fact, they ran the ball. They ran the ball for 158 yards, and Brady had 166 yards in passing. So, I mean, they are balanced offensively. You mentioned
the Packers jumped out to a lead. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead.
And after that, they didn't score again.
And Aaron Rodgers is doing the great, what is it? Who was Hinkle McCringleberry? He's doing the Hinkle McCringleberry triple hump to celebrate the touchdown. Well, it did not age well. As you know what, Danny? Look, who did better against the Bucs, Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers?
Drew Brees.
I mean, so who's the better quarterback? Answer me that question. We're back, baby. Aaron Rodgers sucks again. Drew Brees is better. Come at me in the comments, all you Aaron Rodgers lovers on YouTube.
So that was the biggest win of the. That might have been the biggest win of the weekend in the NFL. Was Tampa Bay going into Green Bay and beating the Packers like that, 38-10. I mean,
I haven't done my full NFL, like rewatch every game, the little YouTube cut-ups rundown yet. But certainly at first glance, I don't know which one had. I mean, one that was billed as a big one that ended up being just didn't matter at all was Browns Steelers.
Yeah, 38-7, nearly the same score there as Pittsburgh handles Cleveland. 38-7, roughs up Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, you know what? I think Bucs Packers is the biggest result, and especially if you are a New Orleans Saints fan, because remember, this was the big fear with the Bucs, right? Is that they would continue to get better as the year went on, and they got their timing down, and you are seeing more and more of that. That said, I also would not judge the Saints based on these last few games because they are about to get Mike Thomas back, and Mike Thomas makes all the difference in the world for the Saints offense. I think that with a healthy Alvin Kamara and a healthy Mike Thomas are healthy enough to really play and be impactful, this offense could be astronomically good.
Yeah, it is scary to think about what Thomas could provide to New Orleans when he comes back because as T has talked about the last couple of weeks, I mean, New Orleans, as whether it's been it has been organically or they've meant to do it, I mean, they've built the entire offense around Thomas.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious when he's out of the lineup on how much he provides and how much they miss him and how much of a security blanket he really is. I mean, you can bring in second wide receivers and Jared Cook and Emmanuel Sanders all you want, and you can have Alvin Kamara featured in the passing game, but when 13 is out there, he is the centerpiece of everything which they're trying to accomplish. Even when he was on the field against Tampa Bay in week 1, I mean, you can look at it, all the attention that he soaked up and took up was really opening up the lanes for everybody else. I think he only had 2 grabs in week 1.
Maybe for like 30 yards or something. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, not by Mike Thomas standards certainly, but think about how used to those teams have gotten to fully committed to stopping AK.
Yeah,
and how they're just kind of sitting on these little swing routes, and then understand that if Mike Thomas is stressing you over the middle of the field in that short to intermediate range, who do you try to cover? Like, who do you commit to? Do you commit to Thomas? Do you get to Kamara? Because it truly is it's a wicked choice where there is no right choice. You just have to choose the least wrong one, and whatever you view to be the least wrong one. So I'm looking, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I am looking for the Saints offense to look like the offense, maybe even better, that ended the year last year when Drew Brees was winning NFC Offensive Player of the Month.
Yeah, dominated the month of December.
Big one against the Panthers, too. They lose to the Bears, but there's no shame in that. A lot of people have lost to the Bears this week, so we'll see how the Saints do Sunday.
All right, so the NFL schedule this afternoon continues to roll on as KC and Buffalo play at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be a 4 p.m. kickoff. That is fantastic, man.
Love it.
A pair of 4-1 teams and the Chiefs and the Bills kicking off at 4 o'clock on Fox. And then 7:15 tonight, you got Arizona and Dallas.
I mean, it just makes you want to start drinking early. It's a great excuse to just shut it down and drink some tasty afternoon Monday beers, celebrate the end of a Monday workday, and watch Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes go toe-to-toe. A big spot here for the Bills, right? I mean, they lose last week in the big one. Allen's luster, he lost a little momentum. If they were to go out there and just get their ass kicked by the Chiefs tonight, then, yeah, it's just a lot of Bills fans are going to kind of fall in that trap, maybe kind of throwing their hands up and saying, like, oh, here we go again.
More college football discussion with Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Remember, over at Accutemp, they are ready for your call today at 414-6242, or just look up online at accutempbr.com. About to go through the entire rebuild process, or the entire overhaul process of an air-conditioned unit over at my house, and Accutemp has been helping me out the entire step of the way. Came in for the consultation, came in for the design work. Next step will be the installation. Looking forward to it. But as we've been telling you over at Accutemp, it's about the full experience. It's not just about the install. It's not just about the customer service. It's about everything. And as a client, I can tell you over at Accutemp, the experience from bell to bell, from start to finish, has been fantastic. Or not to finish, as we're still in it. Online, accutempbr.com.
Accutempbr.com. Take control of your comfort zone. The halftime deal is back this weekend. We'll text halftime to, I should stop doing we'll get you a number later in the week.
61996.
61996. There you go. 319. Accutempbr.com. Accutempbr.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front line.
Yo, join us for a Monday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda, starting at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge. We'll recap the weekend that was in the SEC and in the NFL. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Tell them that's what we ready for. Tell them that's what we ready for. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for. Tell them that's what we
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a couple of stories in college football coming off this weekend, including BYU. Zach Wilson. Anybody paying attention to Zach Wilson?
He was
BYU?
in our weekend winners a couple weeks ago. He
Okay.
was averaging over 14 yards per attempt at the time.
Yeah, 25 of 35 for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in the latest win for the Cougars as BYU 5-0. Zach Wilson also had 40 yards on the ground. You can get all your college football news over at Sports Illustrated. One of the faces and the authors over there of the sport is Ross Dellinger, formerly of The Advocate.
Oh, well, yeah, so let's get to Ross. But real talk, Jeff Grimes, named to watch in the future for, multiple jobs, obviously, but who knows if like you ever enter a post-Ensminger phase, does his name come up?
Ross, you covered Grimes here at LSU. What do you make of what BYU has going on as they are 5-0?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible. Their offense, their offensive creativity is really cool to watch, especially that game earlier this week. They did some things, whether it be little shovel passes to the tight end or some creative kind of reverses, end arounds. They're doing some really cool like misdirection stuff as well. I talked to Grimes for a story 2 years ago. I think it was his first year as BYU's offensive coordinator, and I don't know if you guys remember, they beat Wisconsin up there. Wisconsin was like a top 5 or top 10 team, and they used a lot. They used a lot of offense that we saw at LSU in 2017 under Matt Canada. And Grimes told me then he took stuff that Matt Canada did and incorporated into other stuff that he had in his arsenal already. And you could see it. You can see a lot of the misdirection type stuff, very creative things that they do. And obviously they have good players, right? Like you mentioned, Zach Wilson, he's really been on fire. And that tight end, the name is escaping me now, but he's averaged like 150 yards a game. It's incredible.
Ross Dellinger joining us here. Ross, the stat that's making the way in the rounds after Saturday night is the comparison of Kirby Smart and Mark Richt through their first 60 games. Kirby Smart is 47-13 in Athens. Mark Richt is 49-11 in his first 60 games. What do you make of Smart and Georgia falling on the road to Alabama Saturday night?
Well, I did think it would be a closer game, and it was for a while, but the final score, I feel like the final score wasn't necessarily indicative of the game. It felt like Georgia was in somewhat control of the game for a good 2.5 quarters. And then, man, it all unravels so quickly. And coaches have said this to me for so long about playing against Nick Saban's teams, whether it be Alabama or go back to LSU, is you just can't make mistakes. And one mistake might lead to 2 mistakes, 3 to 4. And at that point, they can score with the offensive weapons they have so quickly that when you make a mistake, they take advantage of it. And a lot of teams in college football don't do that. They'll allow mistakes to be made, and they won't be able to take advantage of it. But Alabama always seems to do that, and they have the weapons, offensive weapons, to do it. And obviously, give credit to Steve Sarkisian and that offense really rolling. He was a candidate for a lot of jobs last offseason. I think he probably pulled his name out of one or two, maybe even. So I think you'll probably see him get on the radar, whether it's this year or next year, as a head coaching candidate somewhere. But let's face it, guys. They have incredible talent. I mean, there's no way to kind of talk around it. Their talent is awesome. They've got a quarterback who is real veteran, has been around the system for 4 years, sees the field really well. That was most impressive. Just sees the field really, really well. And he's throwing to guys who are going to be first-round picks, and they're just incredibly acrobatic, incredibly fast. It's a group that if they do not run through the SEC undefeated, I will really be shocked.
Ross Dellinger, college football insider for Sports Illustrated, joining us here every Monday. What's the deal on Saban? I mean, how did he get so he tests positive for COVID in the middle of the week last week, and then it's almost not even it's almost a non-story that he's on the sidelines for the game on Saturday coaching. Was it false positive? What happened there?
Yeah, it's funny. You're right. It was a little bit, in a way, it wasn't covered quite like you thought it might be on Saturday. But we had a story actually that kind of dug into how he was able to use this rule the SEC implemented just like 2 weeks ago, and what exactly. We kind of tried to explain it a little bit, but it's so all these tests, although the PCR test, which is what he took, is the gold standard in testing, but it's still not 100%. I mean, these tests, no test is really 100%. And so he took a PCR test on Tuesday that was done through Alabama's own lab, because Alabama does daily testing, while the SEC does 3 times a week, and the SEC has its own lab. And that Tuesday test was sent to an outside lab that Alabama uses, not the SEC one. And I think that probably, after talking to some doctors around the nation who certainly have nothing to do, a lot of them have nothing to do with sports, I think that might have had something to do with it, right? Each test has a different threshold. So without getting into too specifics, if you have 50 viral particles in your nose, that might be too low for a test to pick up. For one test to pick up, but another test might pick it up and turn it positive. In that, just from talking to doctors, that might be what happened here, is that he had a super mild dose or load, what they call it, a viral load, in his nasal cavity. And by the time they did the next test, it was gone because it was so small. I think, and doctors think, that's probably the best explanation of what happened. Now, this raises some questions, right? How many players have been sidelined and missed games because they maybe had a small viral load or something in their nasal cavity? Probably a lot, right? Because they didn't get tested repeatedly. A lot of conferences don't have the policy that the SEC has. And we explained that story Saturday about how that policy came to be. An A&M soccer player produced a false positive about a month ago and got 4 negative tests back, and then went to the league and said, look, I'm negative. This was a false positive. So that's a false positive. It could be so small that threshold, one test picks it up, another doesn't, or it's gone within a day. Guys, everybody's still trying to learn about the damn virus. Nobody knows a ton about it really yet, and it's a complicated deal. And of course, the other reason for a false positive, the only other reason when I talk to doctors is a lab error, and that could have been it too. It was an outside lab that Alabama was using. Could have been some kind of error.
Yeah, they're not using that lab anymore. Nick just had Alabama burned to the ground, I'm sure. Ross Dellinger, Sam Pittman, SEC Coach of the Year?
Gosh, so far, right? I mean, unbelievable. just when he was hired, I remember the reception was a lot like when Ed Orgeron was hired at LSU. It was, you're going to hire a line coach who's never been a coordinator, wasn't on the radar for any other jobs in the nation, but kind of fits the school and wanted the job really badly. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there, a lot. And look at, lo and behold, of course, Ed wins the national championship, and Sam Pittman is at 2-2 and probably should be 3-1. And in that one loss, had Georgia on the ropes in the third quarter. Gosh, you've got the guys over there playing incredibly well. It's been fun to watch because obviously he's a guy, I think a lot like probably how people think of Ed Orgeron around the nation. He's a kind of a guy that's hard not to like, and I think Sam kind of fits that. But I find myself even just talking about this, the similarities between Ed and Sam are there's a lot of them there.
Ross, what about Will Muschamp? He gets a huge win right when he needs it over Auburn. Unrelated, but I think Gus Malzahn now post pick six is 33-30 against Power 5 competition. So been about 500 for the Gus bus. But so Will Muschamp gets the big win. How do you feel about the form of South Carolina entering against LSU this weekend?
Yeah, big win for Muschamp, bad loss for Gus, right? That game, it felt like that game was between two coaches who, well, Gus is perpetuity. It seems like he's always, perpetually on the hot seat.
He lives in coaching purgatory. He never gets to heaven. He never goes to hell. He just floats in between.
And Muschamp, clearly, he of all the coaches in the SEC, he probably entered the season on, you'd think, the hottest of seats. The thing this year is going to be to watch, and I think I've said it with you guys on the radio here, is the financial strains that athletic departments are dealing with, how that's going to impact, and just the whole COVID year, how that's going to impact schools paying buyouts, and will they decide to do that? When you're furloughing half of your athletic department, or when you're laying off a quarter of your athletic department, when you're taking all these pay cuts, and then you're going to pay $10, $20, $30, $40 million for a buyout on a coach. You could see some of it happening, but it's going to be a lower number this year of firings, I think, than we've seen in the past because of that. And I believe I was talking to some writers in Alabama when I was up in the press box for the Georgia game. We were talking about this exact thing. I think Gus's buyout is still over $30 million.
Hell yeah,
still.
Gus.
So it's
Is he the Kirk Cousins of SEC coaches?
Gotta be.
Right?
He's gotta be. Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated every Monday morning here on Off the Bench. Looks like it's Clemson and Alabama and everybody else, but this weekend you'll get your first taste of the Big Ten. What do you expect from Ohio State and the rest of the conference?
Yeah, I'm excited to see them start and play. I think you're right. I think it's the story so far in college football, when at least looking to the playoff and a national championship, is the story that it's been for the last several years. It feels like, except of course last year. I mean, we saw LSU rolling through the season, so a lot of people saw that coming. But it's Alabama and Clemson, and it feels like everybody else. And until we see Ohio State. Until we see maybe like a USC or Oregon, maybe, it's going to feel like an Alabama-Clemson deal. But the Big 12 has obviously shot itself out of this thing, probably. I mean, barring Oklahoma State running the table or something, they're out of they're probably out of the playoff, and that opens the door for maybe a 7-0, Pac-12 team to get in. So I'm more interested in another week or two when we see the Pac-12 start playing. Because there's some opening there. You could see Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and then maybe a Pac-12 team. Does a Pac-12 team scoot past a one-loss SEC team? Really going to be interesting to watch that.
Ross, you've got great relationships in this part of the country at the LSU football program. There is a rumor mill swirling about Miles Brennan and his health. Have you heard anything on the availability of LSU starting quarterback for the remainder of this season and or this weekend?
I have not, and I haven't even heard those rumors. I've been traveling so much and stuff. I haven't even given it much thought. I know that Ed had said last week that he was going to be doubtful for that game. All I had heard, because I had made a couple of calls and texts after I had seen that, was that he was more bruised in that a lot of people I talked to said that he probably would have played if they had played the game, that he probably would have eventually played. So, everything that I heard was positive back then, but that was, several days ago. So I don't know if anything's changed, but certainly that would be a pretty big deal, right?
Yep.
Miles has been playing pretty well, and they just got to get that defense shored up, right? Maybe they use that impromptu bye week came at a really good time there. Hopefully they fix some leaks.
Yeah, LSU opponents updated the number that we kept saying last week. LSU opponents are now a combined 2-8, with the only 2 wins coming against 1 and 2 LSU.
Safe travels, Ross.
All right, guys. See y'all.
All right, man.
Later, Ross.
Thank you. We'll close that hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here on OTB, just like we are every single day on Off the Bench by Lanois Insurance Agency. LANOIX agency.com. The godfather and the mother of this show, Mr. Randy and Miss Nell Lanois, to the boys.
Respect.
Randy, Brian, and David. Get in touch with them this morning, whether it's about auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, or flood insurance. The boys can take care of you at LANOIX agency.com, 749-5640.
LandYAgency.com, LandYAgency.com. Look, get a customized policy that matches your specific needs. My needs are not Jordy's, they're not Danny's, they're not Moose's at Landwide. They get that. They've customized the policy for me. They actively work to save me money. I don't lift a finger. Right? I got these new vehicles recently. What did I have to do to get the insurance taken care of? Just text BG. It's done within the hour. I mean, they are the best. Go to LandYAgency.com, LandYAgency.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is it, what smart customers wait for all year. The Richards Honda Trade-In, Trade-Up event. Right now, get more money for your trade and a great price on something new. That's a win-win. Only at richardshonda.com. The smart choice.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
T-Bob Abear here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Upgrading your ride is as easy as richardshonda.com during the Trade-In, Trade-Up event. It's a once-a-year event with great prices on every vehicle in stock. So trade up.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. It's game week. We'll hear from Ed Orgeron as the Tigers start getting ready for South Carolina and the Saints start getting ready for Carolina. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, about to be OTB OT. Much like you did on Friday, Jordy has sketched off for the last segment of the show. So I'll be closing you out. We got a lot to get to next hour. I want to do a full SEC weekend rundown because I think we learned a lot of interesting things about the SEC over the weekend. There will be no T-Bob's game takes as we've been doing every Monday because, well, obviously, there was no game to break down. We'll get into some more NFL stuff as well. I want to kind of get into the top questions that we want answered out of Coach O in his press conference today. And then we're going to line up a guest for 9:30 as well. So stick around. OTBOT, going to be a lot of fun. Musso and Danny with me as always. Boys, how was your weekend? Everybody good? You kept it chill? What'd y'all get into?
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend. Good weekend off.
Danny,
take advantage of that.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I mean, I just basically hung out with kids all weekend. Danny, you said you were gonna hit up the beer garden? Did you end up?
Yep,
ended up
went
over
to
there?
Bayou Beer Garden. Hit up some beers. Watch some football.
Little Saturday action or Sunday action?
Saturday.
Okay, even better. Yeah, I just hung out with my kids all weekend. I did have one of those great afternoon walks where you leave the house with a cooler and a few beers. You're thinking maybe you're just going to have a couple, you'll be good. And then next thing you know, you're drunk and you've been talking to your neighbors for like 2 hours. I also ended up with this weird tan where like half my neck was really red and then the other half wasn't because I guess I just stood at an angle and did not move. And it resulted in me having to sprint back with my 2 daughters in the stroller because I desperately needed to get to my backyard to be able to urinate. It's a tough
scene.
It's a tough
Sounds
scene
like,
if you're in a really open neighborhood like that, right? And you have to go to the bathroom. I mean, there's just no choice. You have to make it home. I'm a big outside guy. I don't care where I go, but like it's admittedly a bad look if your neighbor were to come out their house and you're around the side, like ducked off in a little alleyway trying to get it done. So, yeah, exciting weekend for your boy, absolutely. And we played some more D&D yesterday as well. So look forward to that because eventually those episodes will come out, and I think they're very good. I think they're going to be very funny. We are hurtling towards Halloween. We got a couple great tier lists planned for you coming up this Friday and next Friday. More excellent science coming along the way. My Halloween costume has come in as well, so I look forward to that. And we are so close to Mandalorian. I'm going to start that Mandalorian rewatch. We got it coming up here next week. Cannot wait. All right, so coming up next hour, though, we're going to dive into football. Let's talk about the SEC weekend as a whole. What did we learn? Are you more or less concerned about LSU? What are you waiting for out of this press conference today coming up at 12:30? Remember, keep it locked here on 104.5 ESPN and the YouTube channel all day long because Hester and Hannah are going to pick up immediately after we finish the OT hour next hour, and they will they'll sandwich that press conference and bring you all the coverage that your LSU Tiger heart desires. OTBOT coming up next.
Off the Bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Go to Ochsner.org. Look, if you get injured, Ochsner is the place to go. And it's not just injuries, but we'll get to that. If you do get injured, they have the best non-surgical options that you can explore, like the latest and greatest techniques. Maybe you don't have to get cut on. But if it is decided that surgery is required, why would you go anywhere else? The pre-op, the operation, the post-op setup is better than anything I've ever seen. Even the diagnoses, right? The new MRI machine over here at the Grove in Baton Rouge is unreal. It looks like it's off of a Marvel movie set, like Tony Stark should have built this lab or something. It's mind-blowing. But that is just representative of the entire Ochsner process. They are there to maximize your potential. No stone is left unturned to the point where even the paint in these post-op hallways has antimicrobial paint, so there's no infection, right? Copper-infused surfaces, blankets to fight infections. They're the best. No stone left unturned. Osher.org, Osher.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, October the 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 87. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch the show live over at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTBOT here on 104.5 with the 94.7 ESPN. Spooky cobwebs are out. Danny and Musso hanging out with you. I did get into some spooky stuff this week. I continue to tear through Schitt's Creek. That show is hilarious. It is incredible. But you'll mess with that hunting on what is it? The Haunting of Bly Manor. Huh?
I don't know what that is.
Did you watch The Haunting of Hill House last year?
No, but I heard of that one at least.
Okay.
Is it kind of the same thing?
Maybe I should have asked y'all this off air before, because I'm just talking to a wall at this point. I don't feel like either of you have anything to offer me here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
My God. Okay.
I mean, at least I heard of Haunting Hill House.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, I mean, is it kind of
yes,
the same?
it appears to be, without having read up on it, it appears to be a kind of an American Horror Story situation where same creative team, same actors, but a new story, right? Like playing all new characters.
That could be good.
I think it's really good. It's a TV horror show, so it's got more TV hooks and a little less like we're just there to scare the hell out of you for an hour and a half, and so yeah, it keeps you going. But
do you have to see the?
No, you don't have to see Hill House.
Totally
but Hill
different.
House is really good.
Oh.
I would advocate for it. It has one of the coolest movie trick shots I've ever seen, where one of the episodes starts with I think a 26-minute continuous shot.
Wow.
And they do a lot of creative things, and you can watch them behind the scenes, and it's that great movie making magic, right? Where like the camera's panning, and what you don't see is like people run in and they're like flipping couches and changing the sets in and out. It's fascinating. So no, it's a good show. It's a good show. I maybe still watch it alone Saturday, because whenever I watch anything with my wife, I don't know. It's like I just don't get scared. And then when I watch it alone, I definitely do get creeped out. So that was a lot of fun. Also, a lot of people ask me D&D and Star Wars questions. I would love to kick off the hour and spend the entire hour answering those questions. But to our sports fans, I will save that for the end of the hour. I want to start with this SEC talk. No LSU this weekend, but there was SEC football. There was a lot of interesting SEC football. And I also kind of want to look where the conference stands as a whole. Next week, we'll get into some NFL stuff. Guests coming up at 9:30. All right. How about this? So I think how I want to handle this is I want to first look at the standings and see what takeaways we have there, and then I want to go game by game and kind of give what the big takeaways are. This feels like maybe a bed music segment, Musso. Have you got any license-free? Maybe not the dubstep, but and I know you weren't going to. I'm not saying that.
The license-free EDM?
Yeah, not the license-free dubstep that just feels like that Key and Peele skit that I love so much. But yeah, give me a little juice here underneath. So first off, let's look at the God, I keep striking out a guess for 9:30. All right, let's look at the four teams, or let's look at the SEC standings right now. Currently, there are three very distinct groups in the SEC. You got four teams with winning records. And mathematically, I think that this is all like also kind of just how it would naturally break down, because it's a function of just a bit of playing an SEC-only schedule. But you got four teams with winning records right now. Florida, Georgia, Bama, and Texas A&M are the only teams that are above 500 in the SEC. Following that group, you've got a kind of muddled middle-of-the-pack crew that unfortunately LSU can't even claim to be in, where you have Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Auburn all at 2-2. I will be salty about the Arkansas-Auburn result for the rest of the year. Arkansas should be in the winning group and Auburn should be in the losing group, but it is what it is. So right there, you have Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Auburn all at 2-2, the ultimate middle-of-the-pack group right there. I have no idea which team is the best out of that bunch. And then bringing up the rear, and listen, this is a bit ironic to me, okay? Now, considering the fact that LSU are defending national champions, and considering how much of the college football news cycle at the beginning of this very young season has been dominated by Mississippi coaches and like kind of Mississippi football hype, all three of those places find themselves in the bottom. Right now, the losing records crew, it's Mizzou, Vandy, LSU, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State, okay? So I find that a bit surprising on the Mississippi schools, but how about that LSU? If you just want to further reinforce the position that they're in, that it's untenable and unacceptable, you should, in a year where Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Auburn are all 2-2, you should not be lumped together with Mizzou, Vandy, and the Mississippi schools. So it's bad for the Tigers right now. Also, if they want to get into that middle group, they have to beat South Carolina this Saturday and send them to the bottom group. All right, let's start going game by game here. No luck on the...
It's not happening for me right now.
That's all good. Let's go game by game here, and if you all have any takeaways from these games you want to jump in on, first, we'll start with the big one. UGA, Bama. And again, look, I get that this is very reductive, what I'm about to do. But it is also, I think, one of the core problems with Georgia trying to get over this Alabama hump, which is, look, like we said, Stetson Bennett is going to struggle to beat the best teams. And it's not even that it's necessarily him. It's what Kirby wants out of his quarterback, and it's what he wants out of his offense. It's a song that's all too familiar from LSU fans. He just wants a guy who's going to game manage, not make mistakes, and allow the defense and just kind of raw talent to win out in the end. But unfortunately, when you come up against the other great teams of your era in the biggest games, they can't get over the hump because they're just not dynamic enough offensively. And that reared its ugly head. I think that Georgia's great hope going into that game was simply that their defense could carry the load. But that is, to me, the biggest takeaway, right? As we'd positioned this game, it was, okay, could Stetson Bennett prove us wrong and win one of these big ones? And on the flip side, it was, what will Mac Jones do against the great defense? Because at this point in his career, the only great defense he had run into was Auburn, and he had struggled. Everybody else he had completely dominated. Well, I don't know if anybody is going to be able to get to Mac Jones this year, as he not only passed the test, but he passed the test with flying colors. Here are some crazy numbers. So Saturday, even though UJ feels like maybe the best defense in the country, and I still don't know who would be better outside of maybe like an Ohio State or some Big Ten team that I'm not thinking of, Mac Jones goes 24 of 32. So right there, it's 66% completion, 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So here's some crazy numbers. That is the most passing yards against UGA since
Joe Burrow would be my guess.
No. How do you feel about the Pillsbury throw boy? Jared Lorenzen back in 2000 threw for 528 against the Bulldogs in one game.
Hefty lefty, man.
What a legend, dude. What a legend. Almost doubled up his weight. But it gets crazier. There are now 8 400-yard passing games in Alabama history. Mac Jones has 3 of those 8 games in just 4 games this season. For what it's worth, he has now tied Tua Tagovailoa, who in his entire career at Alabama had 3 such games. Just to give you an idea of the level that Mac Jones is playing at. Bama has now scored at least 35 points in 17 straight games. It's the longest streak in NCAA history. That old 2011-2012 Oregon squad managed to do it 15 times in a row. Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith become the first pair of Alabama receivers with 160 yards each in a game. First time they've ever done that. How about this? Again, since the year 2000, over the last 20 years, Georgia had allowed 2 160-yard receivers, and then they allowed 2 in one game on Saturday. And, of course, Saban now moves to 22-0 against former assistants, and he ties Joe Pa for most ranked wins of all time with 86. What in the world? I mean, the takeaway here is, what in the world is Alabama going to do to LSU this year? It is going to be absolutely brutal. I don't even like to think about it. Okay, moving on. You had Arkansas, Ole Miss. As we said, the team that I fell in love with over the weekend. The Razorbacks beat the Rebels 33-21. First SEC home win since November 5th, 2016, when Arkansas beat Florida at home. The 2 SEC wins that Arkansas is now sporting is more than the past 3 years combined. And then how about this? Matt Corral had been unbelievable thus far this season. Well, Barry Odom continues to show why he got hired as a head coach, why people respect his defensive prowess so much. Arkansas picked Matt Corral off 6 times. 6 times. Unbelievable, man. How about Arkansas as well? They had 6 picks all of last season and 5 picks all of the season before that. Man, yeah, kind of just wish Barry Odom was available when you hired, but he wasn't. He was already hired at the time that you hired Pelini.
Remember last season when Chad Morris got fired halfway through his second season at Arkansas, and people were saying, you didn't give him enough time to really show if he could turn the program around. Well, you know what? Maybe Chad Morris was, in fact, the problem for Arkansas, considering Sam Pittman is now coming there in a wacky year where he didn't have a spring. He's learning a new team. He's trying to implement new offense with Kendall Briles and whatnot, new defense, and they should be 3-1.
Yeah. 3-1 with a tough fought game against a Georgia team that is light years more talented from just a raw talent standpoint than they are. So, I mean, not been a more surprising or kind of fun team, I don't think, than the plucky Razorbacks. Moving on, Kentucky, the big win over Tennessee, 34-7. And look, both teams needed this one, right? Tennessee was trying to prove that, okay, they got blown out by Georgia. They needed to prove that, okay, we're not ready to beat the best, but we are better than the middle of the pack. Unfortunately, they now end up firmly in the middle of the pack. And don't look now, but what a stabilization job from Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats, right? I mean, they were staring 1-3 in the face, and they opened the season losing to Auburn, very disappointing loss to Ole Miss. It would have been real easy to let that spiral out of control. Instead, Kentucky hits the brakes, and then they've now beaten Mississippi State and Tennessee by a combined score of 58-9 over the past couple of weeks. And Mark Stoops was asked how he was feeling after the game, and he maybe had the quote of the week and said, "You asked me if I'm happy about this win? I'm sitting on the bus with a glass of bourbon. I'm going home and we'll smoke a cigar. What's that tell you?" Shout out, Stoops. It's hard to win football games. Celebrate it. It also marks the first time since 1959 that Kentucky has beaten Tennessee by more than 20. It's their largest road win ever over a ranked team. First win in Knoxville since 1984. Kind of shows you how I've started to take Kentucky for granted because this kind of felt expected, but they're doing things that they had not done before. And now Tennessee, since leading Georgia 21-17 at half, in the next 6 quarters, they've been outscored 61-7 and have turned it over 7 times. They've turned it over as many points that they've scored since. Don't look now, guys. Texas A&M. We mentioned it. The schedule's lining up. 9-1 potential. They win easily over Mississippi State 28-14. The A&M hype train will only continue to gain steam from here. But for me, anytime I see a Mississippi State box score, I cannot help but return to LSU and make it an LSU question. How bad is Mississippi State's offense? The defense has outscored them 9-7 over the past 2 games. You got a safety against Kentucky for the only points. 7 of the 14 against A&M came from a pick 6. So since hanging 44 points on LSU, Mississippi State has thrown 10 interceptions and scored 21 offensive points in 3 games. And now Kylan Hill suspended and may have quit the team. Rivers was texting the group. I don't know if he did or not. Again, how bad is LSU's defense? And finally, the last one that I wanted to get to, Auburn, South Carolina. South Carolina with the 30-22 winners. We said this was a fact-finding mission for LSU fans. These are your next 2 opponents. How do you feel about it? And in the end, I think it ends up being a wash on the whole because I feel worse about South Carolina. I feel better about Auburn. So maybe those cancel each other out. But yeah, how about this? I mentioned it earlier, but since the kick 6, where Auburn beats Bama, they end up going to the Natty, Gus Malzahn is just 33-30 against Power 5 opponents. Remember, that sort of 500 football is what got Les Miles fired back in the day at LSU. And honestly, if we're talking about South Carolina, although, look, I'm not a believer in Muschamp and everything, like, they have looked better than LSU has this season. They're 2-2. They started 0-2. They lost a tough one against Tennessee, who's, a middle-of-the-pack team, right along there with LSU, South Carolina. And then they lose to Florida in a game that they had more success in than I think the box score would tell you. They beat the hell out of Vandy. Now they handled Auburn. South Carolina, LSU now going to be at 6 p.m. in Death Valley this Saturday. How are you feeling about it? Maybe preview that a little bit next. Look at what we want to hear from Coach O coming up. And we'll get into these Monday night football games. Stick around here on OTBOT.
OTBOT.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the Dallas Cowboys host the Arizona Cardinals. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front-to-Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA-certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front-to-Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
Yo, join us for a Monday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda, starting at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge. We'll recap the weekend that was in the SEC and in the NFL. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Paul Brown says Georgia struggled with Auburn, who got whooped by South Carolina. So I think Georgia was overrated coming into the Bama game. If Ole Miss had a defense, they would have beaten Alabama. Yeah, I hope you're right, dude.
Did Georgia struggle with Auburn though? Wasn't that game like 27-6?
Yeah, I kind of thought they dominated them. Yeah. But I mean, is dominating Bo Nix that impressive?
No,
anymore?
It's not, because he's not good.
No, look, I mean, I'm not going to fight anybody who says Georgia's overrated, right? I've been banging the why does Georgia get the benefit of the doubt drum forever. And obviously LSU has no hangups with Georgia. You have whipped Georgia's ass every time you've run into them in recent memory. That said, I do think that just from a pure talent standpoint, I think it is pretty obvious that Georgia is the second most talented team in the SEC. And even if I didn't believe in Stetson Bennett and Georgia's offense, I still thought that pressuring Mac Jones, I just thought this would be a major test for him. And it looked that way in the first half. They were getting to him. They made him look a little uncomfortable, and he looked fallible because of that. And then it never coalesced in that second half. And Jones, there's just too many weapons. Like who has a better defense than Georgia? I mean, I would love to see anybody. I would love to see anybody that talented coached by Barry Odom right now, because what he's done to Arkansas has been fantastic. Like, nobody in the SEC has a better defense than Georgia. Nobody in the ACC. No, I'm not including Clemson in there, because whatever, Clemson exists in a spot in and of itself. But nobody in the ACC has a better defense. I mean, I guess we'll learn about the Big Ten, right? Ohio State would be the main hope there. Outside of that, I don't think it's like. I mean, Mac Jones already rolled up like Michigan last year in the bowl game. So I don't know. I mean, did you just witness the best defense in the country get absolutely manhandled to the tune of 500+ yards? It's tough to feel like it's not. Oh, here's an interesting debate, though, that I was having. Who would you rather win a national championship this year, Georgia or Alabama?
Georgia.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know that I actually feel the same way, because I want the national title winning coaches. I want that to remain an exclusive club. I want to continue to be able to lord it over Georgia fans. I mean, what's another Alabama national championship?
I just don't want them to have nice things.
Yeah, I know. I hate them too, but it's a drop in the bucket.
I don't care.
Do we want Kirby to enter that club? Do you want Kirby to enter? Like, is Kirby already good enough at recruiting and taking guys that you want that you're going to throw him a national championship? I don't know, dude. I don't think so, right? I mean, everybody's saying Georgia, but I don't think you have to worry.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
What? Georgia winning a natty?
Not this year.
No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, look, but they'll probably get another crack at depending on what happens in the Florida game.
I think Georgia will get another crack.
Yeah, there's a great chance that they'll get another shot at him, and in the championship moments, they've been good against Alabama until they weren't, until the very end. But yeah, just a supremely disappointing for Georgia and supremely intimidating Alabama weekend for anybody who is not Alabama. Yeah, Joseph Clement, right? He says Bama for sure. The recruiting's not going to get any better than it is, but Georgia could still have recruiting thunder. I mean, that does feel like what's most at stake for LSU here is recruiting momentum. Can you still convince guys like Corey Foreman and Mason Smith to throw their lot in with you when you were struggling so much defensively? And as far as, so let's talk about this press conference today. When I think about things I want to know, things I want to learn, obviously I want a clearer picture on what's going on with Miles Brennan. And then I'm trying to think about other questions I want to ask. And, you know, certainly you want to learn about the defense, but I don't know, Danny Musso, is there anything that O could tell you today that would make you feel any better about the defense?
No.
Yeah,
because
right?
I think all he's going to say is we've been simplifying. You know, we like our plan.
Yeah.
Just, you know, cliche coach speak. And I don't. What else does he really have to offer? I mean, he can say what's been proven this season is he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. When they get out on the field, you're either going to be exposed as what you said was true or it was not. So far, it has not been.
Yeah. I mean, exactly right. And so that's why kind of those statements like the one that he made before the season, which granted, I mean, he's confronted and said, look, man, I've seen it in practice and we looked way better. I don't know what's going on. Like it's not the team that I saw in practice, like whatever. Regardless of how the comment came about, when you say something like that and the truth is so much different than going into a day like today where you're kind of trying to stabilize confidence or make people feel good about the weekend, it's just going to be tough for anybody to buy in to what is being said. So although the Florida postponement was probably good on the whole for LSU, one thing that it did do is it allowed the bad Missouri taste to fester. And you didn't get a chance to wash it out, and you still don't have a chance. So you're still going to be dealing with negative questions on the Wednesday Night Coaches Show. You're going to still be dealing with negative questions on today's press conference. And ultimately, the only way to wash out this bad taste is going to be it's going to be with what you do on Saturday against a South Carolina team that, again, you would have never thought was a threat to you before the season, but now just objectively they look better than you. I do believe in. I don't think South Carolina's offense is terrible. I can't even say it. Never mind. I'm not going down that road. I was going to say I don't think Carolina's offense is terribly dynamic and that LSU's defense should do good, but neither is Mississippi State. Mississippi State's offense is hot garbage. Mizzou's offense, I believe, is hot garbage. Obviously, with their game canceled, we didn't get quite as much of a look at them again this weekend. But, yeah, just somebody come prove it. Somebody come prove that the defense can be better this Saturday, and hopefully Miles Brennan will be available. That's the number one topic today is what is the status of Miles Brennan. All right, coming up next, Here at OTB, we said we've fallen in love with the Hogs. We're going to talk to my guy, John Neighbors, host of Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds over there in Arkansas. Going to bring you some boots on the ground hog reporting here on OTB OT. Stick around.
OTB OT.
We're talking a lot of football on this Monday, and remember, when you think of football, I want you to think of Hooters. Now, they've got great Monday night deals, Thursday night football deals that you can take advantage of for game day. They have everything that you want to be your headquarters for game day, right? They got brand new televisions. They remodeled that Segan location last year. It looks fantastic. And so while in the age of COVID, space is limited, there still is space. So if you want to get in there, you can get in there to Hooters being weird. The beer, the Hooters wings, the Hooters girls, everything's there for you. But if it fills up, you still have a craving for those wings. Download the Hooters app. When you do, you'll get a free appetizer. You can also go to HootersToGo.com, order your food to fly. Of course, there's delivery apps that you could use, or you go pick it up yourself. And the bottom line is that you're watching football, you're home on Saturday. Maybe you have people over. Whatever it is, you're chilling in the comfort of your own house while eating those delicious Hooters wings, tossed in the classic sauce. Go to HootersToGo.com or download the app today.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is it, what smart customers wait for all year. The Richards Honda Trade-In, Trade-Up event. Right now, get more money for your trade and a great price on something new. That's a win-win. Only at richardshonda.com. The smart choice.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Upgrading your ride is as easy as richardshonda.com during the Trade-In, Trade-Up event. It's a once-a-year event with great prices on every vehicle in stock. So trade up today. I-12 at Miller.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. It's game week. We'll hear from Ed Orgeron as the Tigers start getting ready for South Carolina and the Saints are getting ready for Carolina. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTBOT. So we talked about this weekend for us Louisiana guys. This was stress-free football, right? Kind of chill. We're going to see where our emotions took us. And the team that I fell in love with over the weekend were the Arkansas Razorbacks. And they've been one of the exciting teams throughout the entirety of this season. And we mentioned it during weekend winners. Grant Morgan, 19 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a pick 6. It's just unreal what Sam Pittman has been able to do over there. And so right now, I thought, who better to talk to than the man who talks Razorbacks every single day at Buzz John Neighbors on Twitter, host of Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. John, what is going on, man? How you doing? How is the Razorback Nation feeling 4 weeks into this 2020 season?
Oh, they want Bama, man. They're at the level. They want Bama. They want to take everybody on. They are as excited as they have been in quite some time. As we know, it's been pretty bad for them. But, man, everybody's just feeling good. Like, food tastes better. Work is better. Everything's just better, especially when the Arkansas Razorbacks are competitive in football again. So they are about as happy as I've seen them in quite some time.
So one interesting to me about this is it would have been so easy for Arkansas following how things ended against Auburn to kind of get frustrated and allow that to carry over into next week. What was it like, do you think, for the fan base and for the team in kind of getting over that Auburn game where, you know, Arkansas won that game? They should have won, but because of a referee mistake, they did not.
Yeah, I mean, the fans were just still talking about it. Like on my show on Friday, even, they were still bringing up that call against Auburn. So they did not forget about it, and I don't think they ever will. So they were really frustrated, and they are all claiming, hey, we're 3-1 right now, not 2-2. But as far as the players go, I think Sam Pittman really did a good job in the coaching staff of making sure that they moved on to the next game because, you know, they could have easily just wallowed in it and you know, really felt like they got cheated and let them impact them in their preparation. But I think Sam Pittman and the staff did such a good job of making sure that they stayed focused on Ole Miss. And that's one of the many indicators of why this may be a great job by Sam Pittman and this coaching staff. But yeah, they were completely focused on Ole Miss, and luckily for Arkansas, that worked out for them.
And so let's talk about my new man crush, Sam Pittman, O-line coach, rising to the top job. Obviously hired some excellent coordinators that we can get into. But what was the reaction to the Sam Pittman hire originally versus where it stands now at 2-2 4 weeks into this season?
Well, if he's your man crush, you're gonna have to get in line, man. There's a few people here that are big fans. But you know, when he got hired at Arkansas, I was one of the people that was kind of excited. In fact, I even said 2 weeks prior, I was like, I wanted to get Sam Pittman in here just because I felt like he was a new fresh face that was really good at recruiting and had a lot of respect. But when he was hired, it was more like, because you just went to back-to-back 2 and 10 years. You knew you weren't going to be able to attract some of the big names. So it almost felt like, to a lot of Razorback fans, they kind of settled on him. But at this point in time, now people have reversed course completely. They're like, this was the right hire, obviously because you're actually winning games now. But they are seeing why he is such a well-respected person and how he's great at not only getting the most out of his players, but also getting the most out of his coaching staff. And it's only 4 games into his tenure at Arkansas, but the fact that they've had this big of a turnaround this quickly makes people really think that if Sam Pittman can continue to recruit, if he can continue to hire good coaches when these coaches will inevitably leave, if he can do all that, Arkansas is going to be in great shape.
Yeah, look, the hiring part can get a little sketchy. Spoken as an LSU fan who just went from Dave Aranda to Bo Pelini. But while you have the badass quarters, life is good. And right now, I mean, bro, between Barry Odom and Kendall Briles, the turnaround has been fantastic. Let's start with Odom because really, I mean, what drove home just how bad things are in Baton Rouge right now was watching that Mississippi State team the week after owning LSU go and get completely shut down by Odom. But it's not just been Mississippi State. It seems like week in and week out, this Arkansas defense rising to the task. I mentioned Grant Morgan earlier, 19 tackles. I mean, what a stat line. What has Coach Odom done to take a group that, admittedly doesn't have the most talent and make them perform at the level that they are?
Well, just listening to some of the players after the game, essentially it's two things. One, it's preparation. These players say that they have never been more prepared for a game in any game each week. And I think Jonathan Marshall, the defensive lineman, even came out on Twitter, said, he's like, we know what every team's doing before they do. Like, he's like, we were so well prepared. We can see what they're going to do. That's one of the things. And the other thing is that Barry Odom has just simplified things. There's no crazy formations or crazy blitz packages or anything like that. It's just, hey, stand here, line up here, guard this, do this, keep it in front of you, open tackle. Like, just it's simple stuff like that that's been able to really change this defense. Because, you mentioned Grant Morgan. I love the guy. But Grant Morgan's a former walk-on. Hudson Clark had 3 interceptions in this game. He is a walk-on. Like, they're out there with 3 or 4 walk-ons getting quality times and snaps. So it strictly just comes down to simplifying the defense and game day preparation.
So it's kind of crazy. You mentioned those guys being walk-ons. You got Felipe Franks, who was written off and is now playing very well offensively. Obviously, Odom coming off of being fired. Kendall Briles, has his own kind of comeback trail that he's had to have due to what he went through at Baylor. This and then Sam Pittman, right? Off to overlook. This entire team sort of has like an island of misfit toys type of feel.
Exactly. It feels like it's just a squad of guys that really are good at coaching, but maybe just are looking to kind of take those next steps into becoming more of a head coach. Or, Barry Odom, I think he's going to be a head coach here pretty soon, and hopefully he stays at Arkansas for quite some time. But just to be honest, I feel like he's probably going to move on. And also Kendall Briles is the same way. It just, what I feel like what Sam Pittman did is he is very self-aware. He looked at it when he got the job. He's like, I know nothing about being a head coach at this level. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to get somebody who does. I'm going to get Barry Odom, who's a friend of mine, who's a great defensive mind, and I'm going to bring him in. And he's also probably sitting there, he's like, I don't know anything about this hurry-up, no-huddle type of explosive offenses. I just know offensive line. So I'm going to go out and hire somebody that knows all those things that's really good at it in Kendall Briles. Like, Sam Pittman has been so good at unleashing his coaching staff where he's not a micromanager. He's not like, oh, I'm sticking to this philosophy. He's going out and he's like, I see these guys who are good at what they do, so I'm going to bring them in and let them do it. Just I'm going to be here to support. I'm going to have the game. I'm going to make all the final decisions. But he did such a good job with not only hiring these guys, but allowing these guys to actually coach, that I think that those are the main reasons why they're having so much success.
Did y'all have, I mean, hearing you talk, John, it's just crazy the parallels between how we have talked about O and, how Pittman is being talked about at the beginning. It's just strategically how they approach things seems so similar. Did y'all have any idea, and maybe including getting a transfer quarterback, right? Did y'all have any idea that Felipe Franks could be this solid?
No clue. Like, anytime you get a transfer quarterback because he lost his starting job, it's always a little weary. But people were kind of just hoping that he could be better than what they had over the past 2 seasons, which is not saying much. Quarterback play's been atrocious. But they're like, okay, he's a senior quarterback who's got experience in the SEC. Just don't be terrible. Don't throw a bunch of picks. Don't do all that. Let's just rely on Rakeem Boyd and get it done. But, Rakeem Boyd has actually had some struggles. He had some injuries, and the rushing attack hasn't been that great. But Felipe, having a senior quarterback with SEC experience has been nothing short of incredible for this offense. I mean, I know they still got a lot of work to do, but having somebody who's capable of that and is playing it the way he is exactly what Arkansas needed. So I think most people were just hopeful that he'd be a decent quarterback, and so far through 4 games, he's definitely proved he's not only decent, but he's actually doing a great job for Arkansas right now.
And look, man, it's a huge bummer that the stadiums can't be full and stuff right now, but just help me. I guess it's tough to lay out, or maybe it's tough to verbalize, but it's been so tough for Arkansas recently, right? I mean, that win's the first since 2016 in an SEC game at home, I believe. Obviously, The 2 wins is more than the last 3 years combined. How as a radio host, like I know how good it is when your team is winning. Everything's good, right? Sponsors are better. Like everything just works better. How enjoyable has this very young season been thus far? Especially because like everybody's coming in this season talking about Arkansas being 0-10.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to describe, like you said, because it's just a feeling where it's like you felt like forever you were right. You were a better program than what people were giving you credit for. Like people were dogging on you and they were making fun of you, and you were because not only were you going 2-10, but like you were making SportsCenter not top 10 all the time because of bad fake punts and stuff. Like it was just embarrassing. And the fact that Sam Pittman walks in and has done this turnaround and so quickly, it makes Razorback fans once again feel proud of like, hey, this is our guy. This is our program. We're not irrelevant anymore. We're not being an embarrassment. People aren't making fun of us. We're actually somebody that people have to prepare for and have to watch out for. And that feeling alone to Razorback fans is just, it's so overdue. It's almost like, they've gone so long with it that once it hit them, they didn't know what to do. They almost thought it was surreal. Like, is this what it's supposed to feel like to win again? Like, it was such a weird feeling, but for the fans and what they went through, man, and what they had to, deal with Chad Morris and that epic failure, it's just such a great moment now and a great feeling because they have not been able to feel good about anything for a long time. But right now they got a football team and a football program that is definitely competitive and worthy of being in this conference once again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like even if it's still going to be, just from a pure talent standpoint, it's going to be an uphill battle at a lot of times this year. But not only have they proven the ability to punch up, but like you said, they're in it. Like they should be 3-1 with a tough loss against a very good Georgia Bulldog team. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here on out. I'm fascinated to see whatever the hell Arkansas LSU looks like later this year. I'm sure we'll get back together that week. But John, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning, man.
Absolutely. It's good to actually talk about a winning football program again. So, man, anytime you need me, I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude. John Neighbors, host of Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz over there in Arkansas at Buzz John Neighbors on Twitter. Huge thank you to him. He is one of the best. At SEC Media Day, they had at their Radio Row booth, they had Xbox 360 with NCAA set up. And we're playing it the entire time in between shows and replays, which I thought was pretty badass. All right, when we get back here on OTBOT, if you don't like nerdy stuff, you might as well wrap it up because I'm going to talk some Star Wars and D&D and whatever nerdy questions you want to ask me, go ahead and get them in the chat there and we'll address them. So OTBOT, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community without being asked? We think that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust. If you know someone who exhibits all of these qualifications, nominate them for a Good Citizen Award, and they could receive $500 from Citizens Bank. And we'll recognize them here on the show. Get the details at citizensbankandtrust.com, and then nominate your good citizen.
Yo, join us for a Monday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda, starting at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge. We'll recap the weekend that was in the SEC and in the NFL. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to OTBOT. Joseph Claymont on the Bayou Ford YouTube chat says, Arkansas is in the perfect place this year. Every win is miraculous, and if they lose, no one holds it against them because it's Arkansas. Yes, this is Joseph, representative of what we talk about all the time, which is a fan base's temperament actually has nothing to do with the raw win and loss. It's where does that win and loss record fall in relation to the expectations, right? And so LSU being 1-3 after the three arguably easiest games on their schedule really reinforces just how far you have fallen below expectations, which explains the extreme amount of anger. Now, obviously, Arkansas is working from the opposite end of the spectrum. It's, again, why we said enjoy last year, right? Because last year for LSU was your exceed expectations year. Now those become the expectation, competing for championships, and that's why this year's felt so badly, because you're not even close. Also, kind of fascinating there. So you heard, we're talking to John Neighbors. We're asking, how's Barry Odom turned around this Arkansas defense despite having walk-ons all over the field, just less talented guys? What did he say? Simplify. Keep it simple. No, not a lot of checks, not a lot of responsibilities. This is what you're going to do. Just line up and do it. Exactly what we have been calling for out of this LSU defense. And, there's always a lot of talk of the game passing Bo Pelini by, and that's something that's easy to say, right? But, I don't watch Bo Pelini at Youngstown State. I mean, the numbers aren't great, but, I'm not going to sit here and say that just – I would just say this, that idea, that the defense that he tried to install, that they're now having to dial back, this idea of you having all these constantly shifting responsibilities based on motions and all these other things feels so out of touch with where college football is currently. Because when you look at the offensive evolution of football and how creative these offenses are getting, more and more it seems like the best coaches are moving to these sort of amorphous blob defenses that can be very dynamic, very versatile, and handle a lot of different looks. And yeah, maybe you're not going to just absolutely shut down a team to the tune of 8 points like you did back in the day, but it's still probably your best path to success. All right, let's get into some of this nerdy stuff. A lot of people have been asking me what character I play in Dungeons and Dragons. Danny, Musa, would y'all care to take a guess? I doubt y'all even know any of the classes for Dungeons and Dragons, do you?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Danny?
I'm going to guess Demogorgon.
Okay. You've seen Stranger Things, obviously. Yeah, no, some people saying probably a barbarian that is, which look, I get. I mean, right, a big physical guy with the beard. That make a lot of sense. Others saying wizard. And I love a good wizard. Okay, Gandalf's my guy. If I could go back, maybe I would do a wizard. But it is neither of these things. I am Tom Bombo, a halfling bard. That's right. When I play Dungeons & Dragons, Muso, the man before you disappears and he is replaced by a charismatic 3'6", 50-pound ball of energy named Tom Bombo.
Tom Bombo.
3'6", 50 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, stout for a little halfling. Halfling bard, but it's a lot of fun. So basically, I just sing and heal and try to inspire my teammates through my power of song. So Booty Fett, which that's kind of funny, Star Wars tangentially lame, says he doesn't like The Mandalorian in the YouTube chat. I mean, that's wild to me, dude. I would put Mandalorian up there with anything that has been made in modern Star Wars, if not better than almost anything in modern Star Wars. It is a fantastic show. I'm starting my rewatch tonight. I love how Favreau and company are approaching it. If you are someone that has watched the Clone Wars cartoon or the Star Wars Rebel cartoon, ultimately Mandalorian is kind of Dave Filoni, the director, creator of those cartoons, bringing his vision to the big screen. And then you throw in directors like Deborah Chow and Taika Waititi and Rick Fukuyama. And, I mean, the list goes on and on. How could you not love what they're currently doing with The Mandalorian? And we are just 1 week away from a new season, and I cannot wait. It is going to be utterly fantastic. Some people asking about Gloomhaven as well. Gloomhaven is a fantastic board game. Spencer, good call on the board there. Gloomhaven is a fantastic board game, but it's got type of D&D type elements, but it's much more tactical, right? It's a little more like a puzzle box, trying to figure out how to use your resources to get through these battles without running out. I played many hours of Gloomhaven, but ultimately I just don't think that you can beat the fun of D&D. Because when you play D&D, if you don't know, or change the years, but D&D 5th edition, it's not really about winning or losing, right? The DM's not trying to kill you all. You're trying to accomplish whatever your mission is, right? But it's really just about telling a great story along the way and like having a lot of fun and just living in these characters. And we have somebody who's that in the chat just saying that Bo Wilson, can we get a live stream of T-Ops D&D? Pay attention, okay? Because hopefully soon here, we've logged a ton of episodes. Hopefully soon here, we will be releasing the show. We've been filming it for YouTube to watch on demand. So if you want to watch the adventures of Tom Bombo, you're welcome. Jimmy Rainey asking in the huddle, how do you think Amazon's Lord of the Rings show will be? Okay. I'm a little nervous. Okay. For multiple reasons. First off, Lord of the Rings is my favorite IP ever. It's in the second age, which I don't think is a terribly well known, which if that makes sense, right? Because you can do a lot of things, but I also don't know if it's going to really root with a lot of fans. But the main, most concerning thing that I've heard about that Amazon Lord of the Rings show is that they're talking about putting boobs in it, talking about putting nudity in it. And I'm not prude, and I love nudity, and of all forms, male or female. But there's just no place for it in Lord of the Rings. There's just absolutely no place for it. And if you're an executive and you're pitching that for that television show, to me, that's a red flag because you have a core misunderstanding of what Lord of the Rings is. All right, Hester and Hanny, got you 5 hours coming up next, all around the O press conference today. Pay attention. Keep it rocking.
OTB, OT.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Janny King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.